Elegba, Yeshua, Elegwa, come out, Papa Legba, Yeshua, Elegwa, come out, Papa Legba, Yeshua, Elegwa, come out. 'Cause this is our land, yes, we was here first. They came here on a boat, they'll leave here in a hearse. They'll leave here through the dirts, they're going through the earth. We're channeling their ancestors to undo their hurts. 'Cause once upon a time, we all could read and write. That legalese is lies. Strong men spelled cursive ties. Strong men all caps disguise. They've gentrified our lives. We've redefined their sights. We've redefined their kind. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Yes, this shit is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? Play their game, but by our rules. I'm Queen Annie the Maroon. I am Queen of Dongo. I am Queen of Zinga. I am Yenaga. I'm Carlotta and Fermina. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause I am a goddess. I am a priestess. I chant these mantras and they all repeat it. If we make a promise, this land we gon' seize it. Get vengeance for Mother Earth treason. This ain't the gentrifier. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. Repetition of empires. Invading land with gunfire. Slavery not posters for hire. Income not what you desire. Outcome working jobs by hours. Mindset waiting to retire. Never stop working for dollars. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor you gon' choose? When you chant, they gonna lose. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor we gon' choose? When we chant, they gonna lose. I mean, my spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors defend. I got that juice to transcend. I mean, my spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors, I got that juice to transcend. 'Cause I am a Santi, I am a Sata, I am a host, I am a homie, I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. 'Cause I am a Santi, I am a Sata, I am a hostie, I am a homie, I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose? Hey, choose. 'Cause when we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose?
With the wrong witch, and she knows it, and now you know it.
The sage driven experience.
I just wanna chill around positive vibes. Nothing negative, it would fuck up my vibe and blowing my heart. I just wanna sit back and chill and just sip wine. I came from a dark place, now I'm living that life.
I am intentional, I am abundant. I bring to existence all that I want, and I done tapped into the God in me. Cut my locks off and switched up the vibe in me. Like how I manifest within, how I choose to defend. Who I label my friends, how I make amends. Cause I'm choosing laughter, it's peace that I'm after. I abracadabra, then poof, chakras blast off. My soul take this cast off, projection surpass all. Obsidian protection in case this trip lasts long. I see with 3 eyes, that's why my crown headstrong. Corona is viral to spirits living dead wrong
I just
vibration.
wanna chill around positive vibes. Nothing negative, it will fuck up my vibe. I just wanna sit back and chill and just sip wine. I came from a dark place, now I'm living in light. Came from a dark place, yeah, now I'm born with the light. Yeah, now I'm like making moves. Yeah, I be always on the flights. Yeah, I be on a mission for the bank nowadays. Why these niggas hating on a nigga nowadays? I've been on a mission with the light nowadays. I ain't fucking with the darkness nowadays.
Manifested by elements ethereal. I knew of terrestrial material. Intertwined celestial of imperial. Infiltrating corporation of oppressive cereal. Resilience is something like a miracle. Observing kinfolk and draconian material. The more equipped for ascension, the more one seems to be treated as inferior. Dr. Umar said, the white man's heaven here, Asian man heaven here, Arabic man heaven here. But the black man heaven fit. The black man heaven fit, cause it lies in death. Release from the karma debt. Release from all the stress. Release what we don't confess. In order to live, I guess we must be bodiless. Makes me wonder, if we made out of greatness most fit for this plane, then why we the most hated? Why we the most hated? Was I in court waiting for my sentence? Listening to a witness accuse me of unfitness to remain in these cosmic dimensions? Is that why we repent and we ask for forgiveness? The hours and days, they feel repetitious. Oppressive energy soaking up my minutes. Purple haze blowing smoke on my grimace. Another nobody traveling out of limits. Exiled from cosmos as penance. Or maybe this time it's just an intermission. Like Jesus chapters that went missing. Traveling and gaining knowledge between dimensions. Christ consciousness bringing me ascension. Kundalini flows up, now is where my intentions. So don't cry for me when my time is risen. Sing some praises, cause you know that I made it. And know you're all my extensions. Yes, you're all my extensions. Peace, y'all. Welcome to the Planetary Forecast with your girl Sunshine Monet L. I'm so happy to be here. Give me one moment as I get my Instagram situation situated. All right. I guess I should have played another song. It is what it is, right? We are here. Yay, I'm so glad to be here. Feels like it's been forever. How y'all feeling? Thanks to all who tuned in for earlier's hump day reading. That was fun. And now we're about to tune into the dang it, I forgot. The Planetary Forecast with Sunshine Monet L. There you go. Ew, it's so pretty. All right, so everybody that's on Instagram, if y'all want to see the full presentation, you guys can tap in on YouTube, Bless Nobodies, or my Facebook page, Sunshine Monet L. Hey, can you do me a solid? Can you hand me that green thing, that green book right there? Because see, what had happened was I forgot to do something, and I just realized I forgot to do it. But it's okay. I got my notes. We got it. We here. I'm happy to be here this Wednesday. I am really feeling the full moon energy on the top of the fact that I'm a Virgo. I got a lot of placements in Virgo. So the moon is opposite a lot of my placements right now. So I'm awoke and I am invoked. I'm here. I'm here, y'all. Okay. This is what I need. Yes, this is what I need. And so, just for some of you guys, if this is your first time coming in, going over what is a natal chart, well, there's the planetary placements when one is born. All living beings have an electromagnetic field, including the terrors of the universe. And those electromagnetic fields have an effect on the chakra centers of oneself. We'll get into what are chakras in a moment. But natal placements are the result of how one spent their past life, what they learned or still need to learn. And these placements provide spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical tools for one to navigate through their life. The goal is to rise above all the cosmos, whether it's in your natal placement or in the transit as a collective, and gain energetic awareness through Sphere Zero, the crown chakra. So natal charts are calculated by your birthday, birth time, city, and state. It's based upon your zenith, which is your personal pole, in relation to all these different elements around you. And so there's like hundreds of different ways you can read the chart, as you guys know and see. As every time there's something going on, you're able to get a customized, reading according to that. Tropical is the planets up against the background of the zodiacs that we created. So the tropical deals with your thoughts, how you think things are supposed to be, whereas Vedic deals with the planets, how they are on the backdrop of the constellation. So now we're dealing with the actual vibration and the attraction of things. And then you have the draconic, which is in alignment with the pathway of the pathway of the moon, more so than the ecliptic of the sun. So that deals with your soul. And what are chakras? I'm glad you asked. So even we are infinite beings in physical form. Although we are in physical form, each of our physical forms have like so many different facets, some of them being non-physical, such as spiritual, emotional, intellectual self. So, all your body parts have chakras, your chakras have chakras, etc., etc. It's a fun experience here. So the spiritual cells of our physical parts are called the chakras. Balance and imbalance of those cells centers affect all of the other cells, including your physical self. And out of our infinite number of chakras, we give our mindfulness to 7 main chakras or 10. It depends on if you follow the tree of life or the basic 7 chakras. Here at Let's Know Bodies, we go for the whole 10 because we like the gusto. Chakras means wheel or circle of life. It's connected to your main energy centers of the body, which is also can be represented through deities, orishas, colors, frequencies, sounds, zodiacs, animals, herbs, all living elements of this universe, the last and the next. The flow of energy in the chakra is called a Shakti. Brahmins or supreme energy is responsible for the release and function of one Shakti. The mystic aim is to take the coiled energy at the root chakra, which is the Kundalini, and release it into the Brahmins, which are all of your chakras, unconscious energy, sphere 10 to sphere 0 of the Netaru. So that's when we apply to all 10 and not just the main 7s. And then these images right here just show the interconnectivity between the 10 spheres of life and the Netarus, Kemetic, science, the planets, the Kabbalah. And this also gives you some insight on the basis of the human design, which is a combination of all of these things, as well as numerology, which is really cool. And then also, according to the Kabbalah, every chakra is ruled by a planet, and every chakra has a masculine and feminine side. And so if you get a personal reading from me and I give you the natal chakra reading, you'll notice that that's how I place your celestial bodies and what chakra is that celestial body in, and is it on the masculine or feminine side of that chakra. So you have the root chakra, which is ruled by Saturn. This is where you get your discipline, your order, the different challenges in your life that help you produce and maintain those things, your boundaries, your resources, and survival of self, right? So, on the feminine side of the root chakra, you have Aquarius energy. On the masculine side, you have Capricorn. Then you go up, you have the sacral chakra, which is ruled by Jupiter. On the feminine side, you have Pisces. On the masculine side, you have Sagittarius. Mars rules the solar plexus. Feminine side is Aries. Masculine side is Scorpio. Venus rules the heart chakra. Feminine side is Taurus. Masculine side is Libra. Mercury rules the throat chakra. Feminine side is Gemini. Masculine side is Virgo. Then you have the third eye chakra, which is ruled by the sun and the moon. That's when we did get into the polarities. And the masculine side is Leo. The feminine side is Cancer. And so feminine and masculine is more so like internal and external self. It's not really like man, woman, kind of cut and dry like that. It's just internal and external self. That's all it means. And the crown chakra is not associated with any celestial body, as that's when we start to get into your auric body and the non-physical realm of things. And then we get into the elements. This is the alignment of the planets to your actual physical body, giving, light to the 10 different chakras here. And then also we do astrocartography here. So just how like the planets were, in certain placements providing electromagnetic energy around your personal self, it was also an electromagnetic energy over the entire, map as we know it. So in astrocartography aligns your personal field with that collective field to see what kind of experiences you would have on different parts of the map, which is pretty cool. I like to do it through the progressive chart. It's neat. And then this is the connectivity of the different, levels of self, the different planes. You go from the etheric, 0 planes, which is matter, then the etheric blueprint, physical plane, astral portal, halls of learning, astral body, light, astral planes of light, gates of Shambhala, crystalline light sheath, mental body, mental plane. The Devic planes is when you get to the 12th, 13th level, and then the descent of spirit into matter is above all of those. So in this one, you actually go from 0 to 13. So that's a whole, another level there. This is like, aligning yourself from the center of the earth into like the overall galaxy, the galactic core of the Milky Way. As above, so is below, all things, align in that. And this is the heliocentric model that we utilize here, showing how the planets go around, up and down, ascending and descending, fast and slow, depends on where they go. And I love this model here and here because it shows me, where the sun is. The earth is usually, where it moves like a clock. So with the sun being in Virgo Leo energy, we're more towards Leo, that puts Earth back here in like Pisces Aquarius energy, right? Yeah, like Pisces Aquarius energy. And the more the sun moves into Virgo, the more the Earth moves back into Pisces. So right now we're in, Socialville, social awareness energy. You do feel like you want to socialize and do a whole bunch of fun stuff when we're in Leo. And then as we go into Virgo, you're going into the Piscean energy of, the goal is to be the middle line in between the fish going with the flow and the fish going against, the flow. The goal is to be in the middle, to have a sense of balance, but also a sense of self-awareness. But this is the realm where we start to go deep into our subconscious and our minds and our thoughts and start our healing. And, Virgo is that energy of like over analyzing, overthinking. You also come into this space of, Virgo constellations have a bunch of black holes and galaxies and everything within themselves alone. And as you can see from this model, Virgo actually Virgo is a little bit bigger than Pisces, but Virgo is like the biggest constellation that we have. So you have those different, elements there, which is where you get the perfectionist energy from and the overthinking, overanalyzing, critical energy from as well when it comes to Virgo energy. So, Earth is moving in Pisces as the sun moves in Virgo energy. Now, this is where I messed up at. I mean, I didn't mess up. It slipped my mind to correct it. However, update. We are still in the year of platinum. We're there till January 1st. This is the social and business exploration, a concentration on design and fashion. Now, as far as the African zodiac astrology goes, we're in the season of the kola nut. This is from August 5th to September 3rd. that this is like the happiest and most optimistic sign. Be mindful of overindulging into like greed and pleasing your sensual self and things like that. You don't want to overindulge in that in the realms of in light of being like, euphoric or whatever. You want to master your passionate self or whatever. Now, this is also, we came out of the season of the salmon, and that was in alignment with Leo energy and, getting a hold on your dramatic self and stuff like that, right? So now that we have exited out of that, we exited out of that on the 22nd. We have gone into brown bear. I love brown bear. I love learning about these zodiacs because honestly, I always loved bears. I always had a thing for bears. So it's like the more I find out, the more I see like the alignment of Virgo energy with the other things that I actually resonated with, but I never aligned it with zodiacs because we only learned about the Roman and Greeks in the realms of zodiacs and mythologies until we do our own research and stuff like that. But it's like, oh, that is so cool. That is more in alignment with how I feel. Like I love the Virgo energy and the Virgo, how it represents and stuff, but just like that mindset, like behind the Greek and Roman thing, I more so resonate with the vibes of like Sekhmet or like Sebek or Eshu and the bear and all those different things, like more so like resonate with like thoughts as a child, imagination. Oh, if I wanted to be an animal, it was always a bear. If I could be any animal in the world, I would want to be a bear. I always said that. So like, I don't know. Anyway, I was rambling. The brown bear is practical and dutiful, intelligent, curious, and enjoys routine and servitude. Can be very introverted and cautious, must learn to resist isolation. And ooh, that is so difficult. The tarot card of the season is the Hermit card. So like, just be careful, y'all. And starting September 4th to October 3rd, as far as the zodiac season and Western, African, it's the Traveler. And this is the energy of versatility, being open-minded, interested in everything that breaks routine. Anything new attracts you and opens your hopes and dreams. This can also take you away from people that love you. Learn emotional intelligence. And we are still in the year of the rabbit, which is associated with Chinese zodiac, Chinese astrology. And the way that they do it, which is while we focus on the actual ecliptical, the equator of Earth and the Earth's pole, that makes 12 signs in a year. However, with the Eastern zodiac, they focus on the actual like celestial pole, which is wider, which is like our 30 days is their 300. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more so 325 days than 300. Yeah, 325 sounds right, or something like that. I know it's not the whole 365. It's a little off, but it's still the same mindset, And that's why they only change their zodiac once a year rather than like every 30 days or so. It's because they're using a different look. They're using a different pole instead of Earth's pole. They're using the whole like orbit celestial pole. But we're in the year of rabbit, and this is going to be until February 9th. And this is intuition, inner peace, patience, luck, and prosperity, thinking things through prior to acting. Actually, no, this is a little bit bigger than the 365. I know it's off. It's not like the same thing. So now, I have root chakra word like animated, and I don't understand why. We are in the year of 7, just to remind y'all, and in the alchemy year, that is the year of platinum. Great talent and luck to do what you want, selective in love and friendship, and can come off cold in pursuit of things or in response to things. So be mindful of that as we continue this year of 7. Just have a good time. We're just here for a good experience. I pulled the world card a lot earlier today. And it, I just believe that the collective just has to learn how to let go a little bit. Like you can't plan all the details. You walking in your power, you walking in your light, you walking in your purpose and your joy. doing the shadow work, tapping into your inner child, all that stuff is what's being asked. That's, also, fighting the battle as well. I'm not saying that's the whole thing to fighting the battle. That's not what I'm saying at all. However, as you do that part, the things that are supposed to come to you are going to come for them. Trust. Let your magnetic energy do the job. It's doing it. It's what you're doing is working. You just have to trust. You go looking for trouble, you're gonna attract some things that weren't supposed to come to you, but because you're looking for it, now you're gonna get some stuff that don't belong to you. Do what you're supposed to do and let what's supposed to come to you come to you. That's all I gotta say about that. Anyway, so we're starting with the root chakra energy. And in this space, it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn brings like the challenges and things that you need in your space in order to create proper boundaries, in order to create proper discipline and order for yourself, to get a mindset on, how to ground yourself, how to obtain what you need and all those different things like that. These are the different challenges that come to your life. Like when you're an infant and you're like learning how to walk, you got to fall a few times. Yeah, it hurt when you fell. And, it doesn't feel good as you're trying to stretch your legs and stuff after being in a ball for 9 months, at least like pretty much through the entire beginning of your existence, you were in a ball. Now you're trying to stretch. It doesn't feel good all the time. You're sitting in this diaper, different things going on in your body for the first time. I'm sure it didn't feel good the first few times it happened until you just got used to it happening. You know what I'm saying? So, that's all Saturn energy, and it's for our own good, right? Because if you didn't go through those things, you wouldn't be as functional as you are now. You wouldn't have certain mindsets and awarenesses and different, way orders and disciplines that you have now had you not gone through those things. So it's beneficial. You got to give Saturn thanks instead of running away from Saturn. We don't want to run. So we started off the week, and mind you, when we do these, we're starting with today, August 30th at midnight, and we're moving towards September 16th at midnight. All right. So we started off with the Saturn in 337 Pisces being a number of creation and tapping into spirit with that creation. All right. And we're doing that in the 10th house. So tapping into this energy is bringing us success, bringing us to our successful self and how we want to, be seen in our community and in spaces that we walk into. Saturn is in those realms of delusion and illusion, right? The subconscious, the hidden dreams and secrets, the stuff that's tucked away. It's providing challenges to those people that have secrets. It's providing challenges to people that, are, in like the deep waters or in a sunken place, or they're not really here. They come from the deep waters. They're being pulled out. They're being greeted with challenges. So download. Here we go. So we go on. My mind just went somewhere on some like, yeah, there's people there's beings underwater that are undergoing these challenges right now. They're going to be unearthed. It's people going to be unearthed. We're going to see some stuff. But yeah, Saturn is, creating the challenges so we can have boundaries and order and discipline, with our subconscious self, with, bringing our subconscious into the physical realm is another thing, allowing our subconscious to align with our discipline and order. Because for a long time we had discipline and order and we removed the spirituality out of it, making the spirituality fantastical and whimsical and, like a fairy tale type thing, and that's not what it was. So now we're in a space where it's like, no, we're going to align too. They both belong together. The water and earth belong together, and you're gonna have a lot of aha moments and different pushes in your space and different, extreme experiences. And I got the Knight of Wands to pull it out, fell out. We got the Knight of Wands falling out here. I'm going to give you different kind of experiences and stuff that you need so that you can learn to align your subconscious with the physical realm around you. We need the alignment of the two. And we know Saturn is in retrograde right now. Saturn will be in retrograde up until I flipped it when I didn't have to flip it. Saturn will be in retrograde from June 17th to November 4th. So we got quite some time. Saturn is going to be repeating these degrees. I say Saturn is going to go back to Aquarius, might go back into Aquarius before the year is up, before this retrograde is up. At least a little bit, at least on the 29. At least give us a couple days in the Aquarius for that social awareness. You don't went through all these degrees in Pisces, dealing with all these different challenges and getting a sense of authority of self. A lot of you guys have been learning how to nationalize yourself. A lot of you guys have been learning how to stand on your own too when it comes to the generations that you're related to, when it comes to the hierarchy in your business or in your education system and stuff like that. In the economic realm, the people on the bottom have learned to come together and go back onto the top. One example that just came to my mind was when that whole thing was going, when the companies were closing down, and I want to say that it was AMC that was closing down, and everybody came together and bought it and built it back up. It's like when, and they always say in that business is actually the average Joe that they're the least, effective in the market. But at that moment, they had flipped the scales and showed everyone, hey, if we unite and we really do this, we can be on the top. So different things of that nature is happening with Saturn and Pisces. The flipping of the scales of the authority, revealing the wizard behind the curtain, unveiling people's secrets, the different things, that people's intentions, unveiling people's Akashic records to themselves and to others and stuff like that. That's all that energy there, and that's what's happening on the tropical, just in the thoughts alone. Now, what's happening on the Vedic and the vibration and attraction of things is you have Aquarius, you have Saturn sitting in Aquarius here. Peace. Welcome to the planetary forecast, beloved. That's creating challenges in your social space. So as the different, illusions, and you start to uncover your Akashic records, and you get in tune with your subconscious, and you're dealing with these experiences and stuff like that, it's also creating challenges in your social circles. How you socialize with other people, your ideals on justice, what justice is and stuff like that. You feeling those challenges in both of those realms simultaneously. And that's why it's affecting you in spaces where like people are like, oh, I just want to be alone. You don't want to be alone. You're in the process of shedding, peace, love. Welcome to the planetary forecast. You don't want to be alone. You're in the process of shedding those individuals who no longer serve you, those different people, places, things, ideals, and situations that no longer serve you. You're shedding them. And so, yeah, there might be a brief period of being by yourself, but don't stick to that. Especially in this space. I just told y'all, this Virgo energy is the Hermit card. I said card twice, but it's the Hermit card. And the goal here is, you gotta learn how to be alone and stuff like that, but you don't want to get sucked into the realms of isolation. Understand that you're in the transition of shedding old and making new. And there's a period of bareness there, but it's not there for you to like stay in that. Oh, you got the Pisces sun, so you got the moon over there with you. I love you too, sis. So with the Pisces sun, you're like experiencing the moon next to the collective moon. So, seeing, having experiences and the realizations of the emotions of the collective. Maybe some people coming to you and giving and dumping on you a little bit, or feeling comfortable enough to come to you with an issue or something they got going on, venting to you about things that might happen, because that's where your sun is and that's where the collective moon is. Moon Virgo rising. So you got the opposite, because right now the sun is in Virgo, the moon is in Pisces, but you're the polar opposite of the energy that's going on. That's cool. Your sun and moon are opposite of each other, so they actually like really go hand in hand. As you know, like the sun, Pisces and Virgo, they're sister energies. Anywho, So yes, be mindful of going into that, being sucked into that isolation realm, because both of those energies have the tendency to do that. Yes. And that's the energy that's ruling over the root chakra right now, is just, getting that sense of authority over self and rising above the delusions that have been created in the different authority hierarchies and different facets of our life, and seeing how like the curtain and the smoke and the mirrors is being, washed away, and the true energy is coming forth. It's very interesting to watch. We're watching the destruction, and we have a lot of planets in this space, especially the asteroids in this space, to like get it going. And the internal side of the root chakra, the internal self of the root chakra, we have Aquarius here, and this is the actual awareness and the intellect of the root chakra. How attached or detached are you to the at the root? You know what I'm saying? How much do you hold on to things? To what level, right? The moon is here as a collective right now. Well, this was at midnight. So it's at this point it's in Pisces. But when we rose this morning, well, at midnight this morning, it was in Aquarius. So it was in that space of, learning to have this social awareness and social justice. And that's how we felt yesterday too. It was, the moon being in Aquarius, like prominent in Aquarius yesterday, as being in that space of, emotions about, wanting a sense of companionship, wanting to be around other people, wanting, having a sense of awareness of how you've been treated in certain relationships and certain people, place, things, wanting more, experiencing more. And so now, we won't talk about can we talk about where the moon is? We can talk about the moon being in Pisces now, but yeah. So now today, with the moon being in Pisces, we have our emotions in that space of, so yesterday, being in a space of, wanting certain social awareness, coming in today, it's kind of like realizing what has been keeping you from what has been separating you. You know what I'm saying? So go into that hermit mode, okay, cool. But, Piscean energy deals with like areas of your life that need to be healed as well, like where your wounds are and stuff like that, and it's putting in a spotlight what you need healed. So while you're having those realizations and those intellectual moments with the moon in Aquarius, and maybe you were detached, maybe these different things were going on, different energy exchanges going on, make you realize certain things. Pisces wants you to see like, all right, where do you need to be healed at? You had the intellect. Now where are we going to heal? All right. So that's the traveling of the moon. On the Vedic chart, the moon is actually in Capricorn. Capricorn Aquarius today. And so, we started the week off with that moon in the vibration of authority and the groundedness and the root chakra and how you're rooting yourself and stuff in this space. And then today you get that nice duality of Pisces and Aquarius, like, to go inward or go outward, which one we going to do? Eros is the asteroid in the Kuiper belt. That's the, what would you do for love? What motivates you in that realm right now? It's kind of like, awareness in that people are having aha moments. People make jokes about, oh, this is, what do you call it? Like cuffing season, like the first, quarter or whatever. But y'all don't even realize how in tune with astrology y'all are, even in saying, shallow stuff like that. It's still in alignment with the stars, the way they're lined up. This is a space where like people are starting to get ready to like couple up because it's starting to get cold outside. And that's just like, nature. It's time to get coupled up. It's time to start preparing for the winter. If we were in the agricultural realm, we'd be, playing in the soil, getting ready to harvest, the squashes and pumpkins and those kind of crops that grow around this time, and like canning and closing the other crops and stuff. It's just like really like in preparation mode. right? Having a certain level of awareness in that realm and stuff, being, overall Sun and Virgo season. And Eros is just a part of that. Like, you're going into these social spaces, these social circles with a different level of awareness, a different level of intellect, and knowledge of self as well, with the way these planets are set up. And so now your heart wants, that emotional self. It wants those social spaces. I see a lot of people putting up posts like, oh, where's my tribe at, where are my friends at? I just want to go in the woods with a couple friends. I just want to go on these kind of trips with a couple. Like, people are really not trying, they are. People are out here, putting it out into the virtual verse, or in their physical reality, and in their personal, et cetera, talking about the kind of tribe that they want to have, the kind of partner that they want to have. Like, the conversation is happening here, and that's the Eros in Aquarius. Also, manifesting it and making it happen with that Eros and Capricorn on the Vedic scale. Now, Chariklo is another asteroid. Chariklo, mythologically speaking, is from like the Centaurian mythology. Chariklo is the wife of Chiron, which we have up there in Aries at the moment. And Chariklo deals with like your grace levels, like how are you dealing with karma? Like, where is karma at in your space? This is like a mix between like Saturn, which is the challenges, and Uranus, which is the rebellious energy. It brings insight to the hindrances in our space. And what else does it do? It gives the energy of creation, miracles, protection, and destiny. And it also you can charge crystals in her name and bring them to weak parts of your body, which is pretty cool. This is where we need to balance our lives and set boundaries. How do you let karma do its job when facing ill treatment? So, like I was talking about with Saturn being in Pisces and Aquarius, we're in the space of transition. Some of you guys, I don't want y'all to get caught up. I get really upset when I see these fake psychology one-on-one posts on Instagram and Facebook, because like they're really in alignment with the agenda of keeping us divided in a space of division. You know what I'm saying? And now they, do it in a spiritual way, in a psychological tone, telling you, oh, you're supposed to go through these things by yourself. You're supposed to do this by yourself. You're supposed to do that by yourself, like whatever. And yeah, there is a transition period. There is a transition period between shedding people and bringing people anew. But understand that as you're an electromagnetic being, we're all electromagnetic beings, and your electrons are always going to be, looking for another set of valence electrons around you. Like, that's just a given. Like, and it's like these different social constructs telling you to go against your nature, to go against like the laws of physics. and it's to prove what exactly? People, you can know how to be alone and be around other people simultaneously. You can heal and be, around people. Those people you may attract now may be just around while you're in the process of healing. Maybe that's the support you need now while you're going through this particular experience. But because you're over here convincing yourself, oh, I can't go here, I can't go there, I can't do this, I can't do that, because I'm not in the realms of perfection. And that's that Virgo energy as well. Feeling like you have to be at a certain level, or you have to have certain materials, or you have to, be a certain way or have a certain thing in order to experience something. If that experience has a line for you, then it's for you, regardless of the position that you're in. Like, you come as you are. I heard that in a couple different places. My favorite place was Nirvana. But yeah, that's what Chariklo got for you. You just want balance in your social life, your social awareness. You want balance in the unity amongst all. And this also works, for other people who have an overactive, area in this space, and you're addicted to like codependency and always being around people. Well, in this space, maybe you need to learn some boundaries and what wounds you're actually like covering up and trying to, keep buried, to, in your realms, because a lot of people are like running away from that solitude where they have to like keep it 100 with themselves and have certain conversations, so they're running outside and being around other people and being sucked into that extroverted energy. Like that's their solution. So Hygeia is also here. Hygeia is the preventative measures that we have in our space, and that's also, and we want like hygiene in our social space, of course, like wash your hands, do all these things, because you already know that this whole like situation is going to happen again, that happened back in 2019 or whatever. Like there's it's been spoken up too much. People are putting their energy towards it. It is what it is. But not but and you just got to have that trust. You've been doing the work, you've been doing the preventative measures and stuff like that. And if there's people in your community that are not ready, help them get ready. Align with the community and your space. Aquarius is about social awareness, social justice, social alignment. It's social friendships, togetherness, unity. That's what Aquarius is. So it's like it's a level of it can go the other way and be like super detached or whatever, because that's why I said, like, I don't really care for like the Roman and Greek realms of this. I more so like to go with the Kabbalah. But in that realm of things, with the overactive Aquarius energy in the other side of the game, it could be a realm of detachment, but and it's also the energy of the revolutionary. So doing things totally different in these realms is cool too. And the midheaven is here, as these placements are all in the 10th house. So the midheaven is here to bring like success, the light of success here as well. Now over in the Capricorn side, that's when we deal with the underlying structure. Now we're dealing with the formation of things, the building blocks of, if you will. We're in the space of manifesting and creating. Excuse me, can't talk for a second. We have Pluto here creating transformations here. And we see that, Pluto is out here creating storms all over the firmament, putting water where water was not, taking away water where water was, melting ice walls. Like, we're just in a great, Oya's just out here having a great time and has been having a great time since like 2012. And that's when we dealt with that. No, 2008. I'm sorry. And that's when we dealt with the transformation with, the Obamas in office, and the transformation that made in that level of Capricorn energy, and how it made transformations in smaller realms of our Capricorn energy, whether it was like municipal or county or state or whatever. You started paying attention and being more involved. A lot of periods of awakening. There was one mass awakening in 2008, another one in 2012, another one during 2018, with everything going on. And so that's going to keep going on. We have another one happening. Pluto enters Aquarius. It's going to be another aha moment, another group of individuals coming in with a mass awakening, because, we're still giving birth to people. People are still turning a certain ages where they're getting tapped in and getting certain levels of awareness. So there's always going to be, a generation of individuals to teach. You know what I'm saying? It's always a wave coming in. You're never going to be done. That's what, that was the response to my head. Pholus is also here. Pholus is coming with the extreme energy, y'all. Pluto is extreme, but whatever Pholus touches just makes it even more extreme. Like, the story of Pholus was like the Steve Urkel energy, and like whatever came around Pholus, like tragedy was a coming. This is also another Centaurian asteroid, right? And this was the guardian of wine and intoxication, as well as chaos. And it represents like turning points in our life, changes, the catalysts, reckless acts, and extreme situations are, the catalyst, unfortunately. But it helps us get rid of like old patterns that no longer serve us, and it intensifies whatever it touches. So right now, it is in the cardinal energy of Capricorn, so it's not like totally touching Capricorn. I mean, it's not totally touching Pluto, but they are kind of close. I ain't gonna lie to you. They're close enough. They're close enough. And so, like, the extremity is not totally there as much as it was earlier in the game. And we saw that, like, with all, like, the shootings with the police and people getting arrested, the marching, all the different, like, movements that were having in extremities, it was just, like, a lot of people, like, dying, in a nutshell. a lot of death, and that's Pluto. Pluto deals with death and rebirth, right? Energy never really fully dies. We just get rid of the physical body and we get a new one. So, you know, Pholus and Pluto, when they were like super duper close, we saw a very heavy influx of that death and rebirth and the transformations and our authoritative self and how we obtained resources, right? It was like a crazy 180 in how we obtained our resources, right? So all that stuff happened, but now they're moving further and further apart. Well, not further and further apart because Pluto's in retrograde. So we might get a little taste of, you know, it, you know, the extremities of the transformations might intensify, you know, right now at this time. You know, however, they're both in retrograde, so they are, you know, moving, you know, away from each other, but still, y'all get what I'm saying. So that's what's happening there, and that's why things are so extreme. Like you got these fires. I know that what happened in Hawaii was ridiculous, ridiculous, and it was the same energy out in, you know, New Jersey over here in Jackson, as well as in Canada. However, over there, you know, we have, you know, we've been given, you know, information or intel that people are actually hurt, and it was, you know, a setup and etc etc, and people were actually, you know, really harmed, families harmed. It was like a whole thing. I don't want to get into detail too much about it, but like, you know what I'm talking about. And it's just like, you know, scrambling like that. We're going to see a lot of that. And it's about standing your post. It's about knowing what you're supposed to be doing in the spiritual and the mental and emotional and in the physical. It's by design that everybody evolves around the debt note. It's by design. You're not supposed to have time to do anything but pay those bills you got because you don't trust. You don't trust the universe. You don't trust nature. You don't trust your hands. You don't trust yourself. You don't trust your intellect. You don't trust anything. You have no trust in the natural world, and that's why you're chasing a debt note. It's a debt note. It's not even fucking money. It's not currency. And yeah, it's a middleman to get that house for you to stay in. But do you really believe that you don't have the ability to create your own shelter or to create your own food or your own medicine? You don't trust. You don't trust. Just keep it 100. I'll keep it 100. I don't trust. I am a little shaky about going outside and building my own house. I'm a little shaky about it. But the more I walk in my spiritual realm, the more my soul is screaming for me to fucking do it. Do it. Just do it. What's the worst thing that could happen? You got to go back to the oppressor that's spoon feeding you. You've been doing that. You've been doing that. That's normal. You know, Pluto is providing transformations for all of that. You know, everybody has to get out of their comfort zone. There's no space for comfort in these planetary placements in our root chakra. Peace, goddess. How you doing? And so, you know, you have to come to terms with that. Well, yeah, like they're scrambling, and they're the only tool that they have left right now at this moment really is the debt note. And that's why they're playing the inflation game. And that's why your income is staying the same, if not getting lower. Meanwhile, your expenses are getting higher. That's the only card they got left in their hand. That's literally the only thing they got left in their hand is the debt note. Convince you guys to get businesses instead of being an employee so you can feel a little bit more empowered, but you're still under my thumb. You're still busying yourself because now you got to learn how to market yourself and play the social media game and sit on these virtual plantations and Bitcoin mine and do all these things. So you're still under my thumb because you're still chasing a debt note. You want a Bitcoin to compare it to a debt note. You don't want a Bitcoin for a Bitcoin. Because whenever anybody talks about a Bitcoin, the first thing they do is say, it's worth this amount of debt notes. That's the first thing they say out their mind. That's the first thing they say to you to sell you. It's only going to cost this amount of debt notes, and it's going to give you these amount of debt notes. So you still in the same hamster wheel. You just feel like that's the same shit I do to my son. Like I have a Taurus sun, Aquarius moon, Leo rising child. Do you know how hard it is to get that child to do what I want him to do? So what I do is I give him options that I want him to have. Okay, I want you to read a book for me every day. So We're going to go to the library and I'm going to make you feel like you picking your own book. Go to the library and pick your own book. But you're still doing what I want you to do. You just feel like you got a little bit more liberty. You got the liberty that I want you to have. Because at the end of the day, you're still doing what I want you to do. That's literally what's happening here. You think you're free because you get to go to Walmart? Bro, that's not freedom. You're doing just enough that I want you to do, that I'm going to allow you to do. And Pluto says no more of that, because as Oya goes through these spaces, guess what Oya is doing? Tearing it the fuck up. Hurricanes, tornadoes, water storms, Olukun waking up too. We're going to get to the sacral chakra in a minute. All this energy is tearing stuff up because we don't want you comfortable no more. How dare you still go to work every day? I'm about to eat that building that you keep choosing over me, that you keep trusting more than you trust nature. It's going to be a lot more warehouses and different places getting eaten up. And guess what they're going to want you to do on TV? Sit there and cry and mourn. And, oh, my God, that's so terrible. Just crying over the plantation with Massa. I mean, you could fall for it. I'm not interested. They do like to pull at your heartstrings and start adding, like, body counts to it. Like, it was, like, 3 children in the building when that happened. So, like, you know, you already know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. And if you don't know how to get out of the way, guess what? You're going to be a casualty, and you should have got out the way. You should have got out the way. You're still not trusting. It's like it's really like a Massa thing. Like, you going to stand in front of the bullet for Massa? You think Massa would stand in front of a bullet for you? No, he gonna pick your body up and put it in front of him. He ain't going to make you his human shield. He going to hide behind you. That's what they've been doing. You've been a pawn. You can keep letting yourself be a pawn because you think you're doing the righteous thing as an adult, as a parent, as a woman, as a man, as a this, as a that. That's more indoctrination. That's more agreements that you didn't come into this plane for. But Pluto gonna tear it all up. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna pull a 6 of Pentacles. We're gonna tear it up. 6 being a number of humanity. The daily routine, the health and wellness, the 6th house energy. Now we giving for others. We giving for humanity. We creating for the better. And the sacral chakra is ruled by Jupiter. Now, Jupiter, you know, is like that energy of generosity, you know, optimism, chivalry, wisdom, you know, expression. Now we get into the sensual, creative energy and stuff like that. And this energy right now is in Taurus. It's actually in the fixed energy, and we know that Taurus is a fixed sign, so it's locked in. It's locked in. That means that this is the time to manifest your abundance. This is the time to manifest the materialisms, the things that you want. Tap into your sensual energy. Tap into your pleasure-seeking self. A lot of our pleasure-seeking energy is in alignment with what spirit wants, because it's in the 12th house. 12th house is the Pisces house. That's the subconscious. That's spirit. That's the Akashic records. So don't think, you know, the things that used to make you happy and stuff like that, they don't make you happy anymore. So what are you suppressing your happiness for? You still moving like you that person that used to be, you know, indulging in the things that used to be destructive. You know, you're not that person no more. You're not drinking and smoking all day. You're not doing all this nut stuff no more. You're not chilling around them people, talking about people, causing drama and all that. You're not trespassing against people no more. You're not doing any of that anymore. So, you know, if those things no longer bring you joy and there's new things, new evolved things, expansion, yes, more expanded things that bring you joy now, why are you still suppressing your joy like you yesterday? You're not yesterday no more. So let yourself have joy. Let yourself have these new experiences as evolved you. What you like to do is different now. Let yourself have that different. You deserve it. Oh, I know. Your indoctrination brings you back down to your root chakra and says you don't have enough money. You don't have enough debt notes. You got to pay this bill. You got to pay that bill. You got to go here. You got to do this. Your hair got to look like this. You got to look like this. You got to look like that. Da, da, da. But if those things don't bring you joy no more, then what are we doing? Like I said, this is in the 12th house. It's in alignment with your subconscious. It's in alignment with the Akashic Records as a collective. Y'all want to do new things. You know what brings y'all joy now? Being up under the full moon, doing full moon rituals, learning about spirituality, learning about yourself, figuring out how to get back to the community, learning how to grow your own food, microdosing, making your own medicine, sharing recipes. That's what brings y'all joy now. So why your hair got to be done? Why your nails got to be done? Why that bill over there got to be paid? Why this over here got to look like this? That sounds like you still trying to bring old you into this new space, and it no longer exists no more. You crossing realities that don't cross. What's the law of physics? No two things can stay in the same place at the same time. You trying to do the impossible. That's not, that ain't it. Don't do that no more. You deserve. I deserve. You hear me? I hope you do. Because you do. You deserve. And you're in the space to receive. So let yourself do that. While Jupiter is in Taurus giving y'all that message in this realm like that, then at the same time, Jupiter is in Aries too. And that's expounding on the fact that you in a new space is new beginnings in your sensual self, is new beginnings in your pleasure seeking self, in your wisdom, your intellect, your philosophies, is new beginnings there. You're materializing new things there. You're prioritizing new things there. You want different kind of possessions. I don't want bags no more. I want to be on land. You know, I want hobbies. I want my papers. I want ownership of myself. Priorities is changing here. You know, some people, and there's levels to it. You got some people saying, hey, I want bags and shoes no more. I want businesses. We got some people say, I'll take you a step further because that's still in the hamster world, a debt note. I don't want none of that no more. I'm ready to be out here with my village and growing food and really taking my place in the netters. You know what I'm saying? You got people saying, hey, I do one better than that. I'm trying to be in the astro world. I'm trying to go beyond the ice wall. I'm out here for the expanded firmament. There's levels to this. Where are you at? Allow yourself to be where you at so you can express it. Give yourself joy. You deserve, baby. Don't let this 3D world keep you there because we ain't even there yet. We not even there no more. Like, it's crazy how they try to keep you in a space that don't even exist no more. People still going to work every day for these debt notes. Meanwhile, on the other side of the plane, they don't even recognize the debt notes no more. You see how we in retrograde right now? It's like this country is in retrograde right now, and the other countries are just speeding past it. You're going to go out there, you're going to travel to another space and have like a crazy experience you never thought you was going to have before because we've been in retrograde. We retrograding ourselves over here. We allowing ourselves to, stay in the space of, where they're trying to socially construct us at. Meanwhile, other people are moving past us. Other souls is moving past us. Other establishments and civilizations is moving past us. You got to make a decision where you want to be at. You have the ability to jump. Are you going to jump though? All that energy over there in Pisces, the internal side of your sacral chakra. Now we dealing with the subconscious. We dealing with Olukun. You can tap into my Sunday services where I got really in depth with the root chakra and the sacral chakra. This Sunday, we're going to get into the beginnings of the solar plexus chakra, caught in the loop, the illusion. Yeah. A lot of people are caught in this illusion, all these physical things. It's, and it's so in alignment. People only talk about their sun sign. People only talk about what zodiac energy the sun is in. The sun is the ego. The sun is the light that bends so that you can see things the way that you see them. And we only talking about the tropical. So we only talking about your indoctrinated sun. We're not talking about what the sun is actually doing. The sun is actually in Leo right now. The sun is not in Virgo. The sun won't be in Virgo till September 18th. So you in an illusion an illusion. You in a few different. You got some loops to get out of. Because you wondering why you still feel a certain way, even though indoctrination tells you, oh, this is the season for XYZ, but you still in ABC energy. Yeah, that's why. They got you in a lot of different places. If you think about it historically, when the empires were taking over each other, because there is nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? empires taking over each other, first thing they do, what they do? They change your books, right? They changed the calendar. They said, oh, the gods told me that I was allowed to add 5 days. And Horus told me that I was allowed to add a whole 30 days. And, now I can give Nut 5 extra days over here. And every time an empire took over another empire, they changed the calendar, they changed the seasons. We used to have 3 seasons. I like the 3 seasons better. The 3 seasons, because at once upon a time, everybody was just focused on agriculture. It was all about agriculture. So that's what the zodiacs are for, is to tell the time of agriculture. The horoscope means hour. See that I watched the hour, the clock. So it was all about what time of the year we about to, get into the seas and do the different things, and all the different ceremonies and stuff was for the land, so that we can have, all the stuff that happens during Obatala season in December. That was to set our intentions for how we want the soil to soften when spring comes. January is coming. Hey, another ceremony. Hey, don't forget, we need y'all to get soft for the agriculture when the spring comes. You got the groundhogs, you got all this stuff. Then April Fools happened when the Greeks and Romans came, and they, you still had people that celebrated New Year's in April. But when they came and changed the calendar and they made the New Year's in January, they would call people that were still doing the Aries New Year's fools, and they would do really mean shit to them, like, bro, I don't even understand why y'all thought that was funny or a joke or whatever. And that's why in this season it's more so mean-spirited jokes. Like nowadays we done watered it down to like childish jokes, but it used to be very mean and evil-spirited jokes that would be done to people that were still celebrating the New Year's in Aries, because they were trying to indoctrinate them into their religion. If I want to indoctrinate you into my religion, I'm doing mean-spirited things. This is the same way they did when they came over here and was like, hey, with the conquistadors and reading the thing, and hey, you got to go to our schools. And if you don't go to our schools, we're going to drag you in the middle of the street and we're going to torture you in front of the villagers. So all of y'all know, y'all have to go to our schools, or it's going to be an issue. And when you come to our schools, you can't have your hair a certain way. You can't wear certain clothes. You can't speak your native tongue. And then now it's to the point where they don't even have to say that stuff no more, because the citizens out here do it for them. Hey, don't speak your language around me. Hey, why does her hair look like that? Hey, why are they wearing that? That's weird. They don't even have to do that stuff no more. Y'all help them. Y'all the mouthpiece now. Y'all are fully indoctrinated generation after generation. Every now and then they might have to shoot one of us on camera or something just to remind us who's in charge. They don't even got to do that often anymore. They'll just replay some old videos that they got now. They make movies now, right? They make movies reminding us of what they used to do. Anyway. And that's also Saturn over there sitting in Pisces. But Karma over there too. Karma is an asteroid in the Kuiper belt. And we already know what karma is about. What goes around comes around. So we got Neptune, Saturn, and Karma over here. All 3 of them in retrograde. All 3 of them showing you, hey, all them illusions and delusions and indoctrinations is coming out. And these people is scrambling to stay in power. That means more extreme things are going to happen. You know what prescribed? It's not prescribed burning. I forget the name of it, but I had went on this whole spiral at 3 o'clock in the morning one night about the law, the official law that they have, the act or whatever, when they started burning land and stuff back during the Revolutionary War, when they were trying to turn away the British from, not just the British, but all those European countries from, maintaining, ownership of land over here. They would just burn it to make, you don't even want this land, it's burnt. But in their mindset, see, they always play the long game, because the long game is 3 years later, the soil would be back to where it needs to be or whatever. It's just in this present time for those who think small and only think about next week or next month or whatever, you're like, oh, I can't do nothing with this. So they keep your mind small on the smaller picture while they're looking at the long game always. And they make y'all mind smaller and smaller. Y'all can't even look past a 5-second reel no more. Now I tell people, oh, you got to make 15-second reels to be seen. People only want to see those. I'm not making no 15-second reel. I can't, like, I just can't. This is not going to happen. Look how long the planetary forecast been. Not making no 15-second reel. You got to have an attention span to deal with me, baby. Now, on all that's going on the internal side, as far as recycling this energy and uncovering the illusions and all that stuff, and I'm reminding y'all, this is not going to happen in roses and butterflies. So y'all gotta, we gonna get into the solar plexus next. Y'all need to empower yourself and put your brave armor on. It's time for some bravery and some courageousness. Y'all still doing this. Y'all still crouched over and ew, it was ugly. Don't stop it. Don't do that no more. Okay. Now, on the external side of the sacral chakra, we got the fortune over here. Now, the fortune, is the crossway of the ecliptical and the moon's line and all that stuff, and that creates like a X marks the spot, right? So right now, it's in Sagittarius. It's in that space of tapping in the spirit, the oracle energy, the sage energy, paying attention to your downloads, having that power of knowing. Not everything you're going to get from a book, because you got to overstand. I remember when I read Metu Netter for the first time, and the first thing that I read that stuck out to me so much was, not only do you have to read the book, and I'm a kind of person, I love research. So I'm not just going to read the book. I'm going to look at your sources, and I'm going to go to those sources and their sources and so on and so forth. That's why my spirals be taking hours. But it's more, but also research the author. What is the intentions of the author when they wrote what they wrote? Who's publishing this literature? And what does the publisher gain or lose from assisting in the publication of this book? You got to ask yourself them kind of questions. And that made me look at a textbook so much different. When you look at the author of the textbook and research the author of the textbook, then research the publishers and who owns the publishing company and the history and the other books that publishing company publishes. Like that, John, open your whole set of eyeballs, different. I'm telling you. But that's in alignment with Sagittarian energy too. It's the fortune that'll come into you tapping into your wisdom. It's fortune that'll come into you having these downloads and, really standing in your power of knowing and trusting what you manifest. If you say you want something, you have to trust. Manifest is not just chatting. Mani means hands. Fest means festival. Festival of the hands. You condensed into a physical form so that you can manifest. That was the magic. You couldn't do what you're doing right now on the other side. You had to come through a womb. You had to be cooked for 9 months, come through a womb, learn how to gain physiological whatever, and now you can do the things that you wanted to do. But you're allowing outside energies and, indoctrinations and all this stuff like that to keep you on a hamster wheel to prevent you from doing what you came here to do. Your inner child knows what to do. You got to talk to that inner child, because they got hit with a lot of indoctrinations when that's just imagination. They got such a great imagination. Oh, that's not realistic. Oh, that's not what adults do. Oh, you got to grow up. Oh, you can't do this no more. You can't be that no more. Oh, you got to pay a bill. Oh, you got to do this. That's what happened. So you got to go back to that inner child energy. You got to go back there and have a conversation with that person, because that person knew what they went through the womb for to get done here when they came out here. You know what I'm saying? You got, stuck up with a whole bunch of chemicals as soon as you came out. They couldn't wait to start sticking you all up in them thighs and your foot. Everybody ignoring your screams because you're just an infant. They don't know no better. Started signing a whole bunch of contracts on your behalf. They tied you down before you even had a chance, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you came into this plane and had to go through all of that. But now we got to fix it, because you're big enough to fix it now. Pisces energy also deals with healing your wounds. And we ain't just talking about socialized wounds. The boy who hurt you, the girl who hurt you, the parent who passed. That's all indoctrination shit. No energy is created or destroyed. The real wound is what you went through that made you forget why you came here to begin with. That's the real wound. Fix that, because that's going to help bring you up to your solar plexus chakra. That's what's going to help you get the courage and the confidence and the energy to get your stuff done. All right. So Mars rules over the solar plexus chakra, and Mars deals with like your motivation, your circulation, your strategic self. They always say Mars like warrior and fight, 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 but he's not just like a ogre fight, fight, fight. It's intellect that comes with the fight. It's strategy that comes with the fight. It's the intelligent militant. Always got a game plan. The Art of War. Read it if you ain't read it yet, and then read it again if you don't remember it. That's the one. That's Mars right there, through and through. So Mars actually entered Libra. My back is killing me. Pull out my papers. I don't know off the top of my head, y'all. Mars entered Libra zodiac on the 28th. This was a couple days ago. On the 28th, this is when it happened. So now we're in a space where you got that, Mars is Aries, so it's fire. So you got that fire and air energy. So like I'm telling y'all, the like revolutionary energy, certain moves, they will not be done with grace and drinking alkaline water and rubbing crystals and singing kumbaya. Like that ain't gonna be 100% the whole situation. It's gonna get different. Y'all gonna have to learn how to fight back against some things, or y'all gonna keep allowing things to happen to y'all. The solar plexus chakra deals with that courageousness, that confidence. And if you really heal those wounds that remind you why you came through the womb to begin with out there in the sacral chakra, if you really go back down to the root chakra and heal, who you allow to have authority over you and who created the boundaries and the discipline and the order that you have in your life right now, and you transmute that energy with the collective Pluto, then that's going to help you too. So by the time you get to the solar plexus, ain't no fear here. There's no room for fear here. There's no room for distrust. There's no room for hesitation and indecisiveness. However, if you ain't do that work, you already know how Libra get. Libra can get real indecisive, real people pleasing, and real pushed over real quick. And that's not what you want. So if you find yourself in people, places, things, situations, and exchanges where people is pushing over, you don't really want to be there. You done got peer pressure. You doing shit you don't want to do, this, that, and the third. Then you need to switch it up. Your solar plexus is lacking, baby. And you need to go back down to that root and that sacral chakra and do some work. Realign yourself. Now, Mars is telling you right now, right there with the 5th house, you got to realign yourself with that inner child. There's something that happened to that inner child, and somebody pushing that inner child button that's making you go back in or making you explode, because we know what air does the fire, it makes it bigger, right? So we can go one or two ways with this. We can either blow the fire out and go too far inward, or we can explode. Either way, you got to go back to that inner child and see what's up. When was the first time we felt this? I always tell people go back to the netters because they actually have how you can go through the 10 spheres and heal that wound. You can do that. And if y'all need help, y'all already know, hit up a goddess, because Metu Netter is my motherfucking Bible. You heard me. So, but I can help y'all do that. But it's work that has to be done. Mars on the Vedic, on the vibration scale, is sitting in Virgo. So being analytical, having these conversations, having that communication and that awareness, as well as the invocation, that means that different patterns and different habits are going to be brought into your space that's going to show you the Libra scales, show you where your mind is at in the realms of Libra scales. And that deals with interpersonal relationships. That also deals with bonds and contracts. So now we're talking about the realms of justice and business as well here. All right. I want you to analyze these things, pay attention to these things. I know people that are working on nationalizing themselves. If you're interested, I do have a really good website. Yes, I fell off, and it's because I got very much caught up with the Cosmic Convention. But as I'm winding down and I'm transitioning back into less nobodies, I'm getting back on my square. But this brother sends a video every day for you to watch, take notes, and you can follow along, etc., etc. I do have to go up to Trenton and get me and my baby's long birth certificates. I gotta find better transition words. But like, I want to include my children, especially because I have a 17-year-old now, and I want to include him in the journey of nationalizing yourself. And I want to, excuse me, I have an alarm clock that tells me when it's time to go to bed because I don't sleep. And but I never listen to the alarm clock, so it doesn't even matter. I want to include, especially my oldest son, in the walk because he's older. I have a 9-year-old too, so of course I want to include him by default because I know he's at a space where he will remember these things as well, so that when they're around their peers or when they have children, I don't know when I'm gonna be out, but I want my sons to be prepared for whatever and whoever they attract in my absence. You know what I'm saying? So, um, that is actually going to be a part of the homeschooling process. So we're going to take a law and order class this year, and we're going to learn the UCC codes and Black Law Dictionary. And we actually got our feet wet with it last year. Shouts to Jonah Bay because that's who we were following behind last year, and I want to say it's called Sirius University or something like that. And so this year we have this website, and we're going to do this route because it's way more layman's. So it's easier for them to understand, and it doesn't concentrate you in the Moorish science under the Moorish science empire. You can go whichever way you want to go. It's just about just generally unsubscribing from the United States of America. That's what it's generally about. And that's Mars and Libra Virgo energy right there. Like in a nutshell. Now over here in the Aries energy, both in Aries and Scorpio energy, it's about enforcement of law and the courage and the fearlessness that's required. Both stories of Oya and Ogun deal with the transformations both of them had to overgo. That's why Ogun or Aries deals with new beginnings, and Oya Scorpio deals with rebirth and transformation, because both of them had to undergo a sense of transformation or rebirth or new beginnings in order to adjust themselves to the war that was going on around them. When you learn about the story of Oya and Ogun, it's slavery, it's enslavement, it's the war with the colonizers. Ogun was a blacksmith, and then eventually he transformed himself into creating himself into a warrior himself. Oya, she, transformed herself and started, she went into the realms of like, now I'm a warrior as well. So these are the transformations that you have to create in your solar plexus chakra. You have to be the warrior. So if you ain't no warriors walking around scared getting shit done. That's just not how it works. Now, on the internal side, we want new beginnings in your Chiron, which is how you transmute your wounds into a strength. We want new beginnings in this Aries energy. Now, Aries has been in Aries since 1925, and we can make those alignments with the fact that in the 1920s is like revolutionary beginnings for women over here on this side of, under the United States of America. Because prior to that corporation coming on this land, women were definitely liberated. But once that corporation came onto this land, the liberation was limited until the 1920s. And then, the fight back occurred and has been going on ever since. Now, Aries is going to be in Aries until 2044. So we're going to keep experiencing this energy. And then, mind you, Aries just entered in the Aries constellation on the Vedic chart this past June 14th or June 4th, one of those. And so even in that space, we have a whole nother, 120 years of Aries and Aries, giving us that goddess, that primal goddess vibe, that warrior woman vibe. Aries is the feminine version of Aries, giving that divine vibe. So, the divine feminine energy is the energy that's coming to heal the wounds, basically. So a lot of our goddesses have to learn how to stand on their ground and stand on their place. Also, the warrior feminine energy that's present inside of, our men, is coming out. And, more men are actually being more in tune with their feminine energy as well. And it's just about, everybody, whether you're a male or a woman, learning how to utilize that Amazonian feminine energy that's arising within. It's very important here. The true node is also here. That's the direction that we're supposed to be moving in. So we've been experiencing a draconic reset because on the draconic chart, the North Node, the Rahu is always in the space of new beginnings, and the Ketu is in the space of balance, the Libra scales. So we're experiencing a draconic, reset right now. The soul of the collective is undergoing new beginnings, and we feel it as a collective. with us coming into this new space. Setna just made a transit, and we'll get into Setna's transit momentarily. But we are experiencing new beginnings, in our soul space. Um, a lot more aha moments, a lot more, spiritual awakening waves happening, another generation of youth coming into the realms wanting to know more about occultism and the spiritual realm and chakras and astrology and things like that. And it's just those people who are already well versed in this realm, standing on their post and knowing where to be at, to be present and to be available. That's really what it's about right now. Over on the masculine side of the solar plexus chakra, we have the psyche, your mindset, your thought process here, how you, compute things, your intellectual space. And, we're undergoing a transformation. You got the 22002 finding balance there in your space. Sixth house, check on your mental health, check on your mind space. Be mindful that, the attack, the transformations, the war, the extremities are happening on your mind. So be mindful of the images, the repeated images you allow yourself to see, the things you allow yourself to indulge in. Because, like I said, these individuals out here are scrambling. They are scrambling. And the best way they can scramble right now is the control of your psyche, telling you what to think and how to think it. And that's what they have been doing. And it's just a matter of knowing, when to stand up and say, all right, no more. Psyche enters Sagittarius energy on October 5th. So that's when we will experience the transit into, like, okay, you've undergone this transformation in your mindset. When you undergo, for every energy, there's an equal opposite energy. So, you want to be mindful of that. And then, when it enters Sagittarius, it's just like the expansion. It's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like the nugget at the end of the fighting the big bad guy, at the end of the realm. Now, Psyche enters the Scorpio constellation on the Vedic chart on September 16th around 11 p.m. So that's when we'll start to see the vibrations, the attraction of the work that you're doing with your Psyche and the Scorpio, zodiac energy. So that's pretty cool. So now we're going to pull a card for the solar plexus chakra. I have the Empress, and I have her upright. Standing in your power is key here. Courageousness. My tarot cards are just like backup singers for me. That's what I always say about them. That's what they do. Just back me up. I'll be telling y'all, stand on your power. We ain't no room for fear here. And my cards be like, what she said. Now, over here, Venus rules over your heart chakra. This is where we get our wisdom, compassion, our empathy, forgiveness. We're dealing with the crescent moon here and all those fun things. This is the space. This is the heart space where we deal with our pinnacles and our emotions here. Hold on. I am closing out my Instagram because my phone's about to die. Excuse me. Right now we have Venus sitting in Leo energy. So it's like our heart and our mind is connected. The Oshana Oromila rules over the masculine side of our third eye, being in alignment with the sun. Leo is also associated with the heart, being in charge of the fifth house, and the fifth house dealing with your emotional self and heart self. So it's like, the extremities with the heart, but also aligning the heart with the thoughts and allowing that to project. Because keeping it 100 with you, we just big ass kids. We literally are our inner child that our bodies kept growing, but the inner child is still creating the projections. And that's why it's so important to heal, go back to the womb space and heal that space. That's why that's so important, because that's the person that's projecting everything out here. You might have a whole bunch of distrust and can't remember it, and in reality it was just about how you was handled in the hospital. The fact that you had to cry it out, in your crib at night, different things like that. The fact that you had to sit in a wet diaper and stuff, so now you don't like certain feelings, certain sensations and stuff like that. You don't, different things. So, going back and healing that, so you could project a better realization in your space. That's that Venus and Leo energy, and it's in the third house. So a lot of that is being, fed back to us or projected back to us in our community. whether it's your intermediate family that expands out to like cousins, aunts and uncles and grandparents, or like your intercity community, as you're projecting out, it's coming back to you in that realm. Venus or Oshan is also the energy of materialization, bringing things into the material realm. Also, the eye, the beauty, beauty is an eye of a beholder. That's also Venusian energy. The realizations, of what's beautiful to you, and then starting to attract that in that realm. Now, Venus is straddling between the left and right side of the third eye, as the Vedic side of Venus is still in Cancer energy. So we have that Yamoja energy over the vibration. So you have that internal, coming back to like you really like getting a hold of your feelings, your sensitivity, your nurturing self as well, going back to that maternal realm, again, the womb, all those different things, and aligning your left and right third eye together, the internal and external side of your third eye, your masculine and feminine side that projects your reality, and allowing that to align with your heart, and that's really, forming the community around you, how you communicate and express. That's the third chakra invocation right there, aligning your heart and both sides of your mind. Over on the feminine side, we have Uranus and Jupiter here. Uranus went to retrograde on the 29th. Jupiter is going to go on retrograde on September 4th. Both of these energies are energies of expansion. Uranus deals with being rebellious and breaking against traditionals and making like crazy changes, like straight 90-degree changes. We just out here like straight rebellious energy, and it's been sitting in Taurus since like March 2019, and that's around the time like the big rebellious changes started happening. We went from using a physical dollar to having all these different kind of cryptocurrencies, people expanding themselves. We went from having a whole bunch of employees to having a whole bunch of business owners, changing the way we engage in education systems, changing in the way we have money exchanges, people starting to exchange in different resources, bartership returning, trading in cryptocurrencies, different payment platforms, the different transformations we've had with those different payment platforms, the regeneration of the creators of those payment platforms, the different theories that have derived from that created new conversations off of the past, and how, the historic, debt note and monetary creators were treated and ended, and et cetera, et cetera. We know where I'm going with this. But all of that is Uranus sitting in Taurus. All of those conversations, all those transformations, all of those breaking the way we traditionally do things in this realms of Taurus. And while we're dealing with the business and the wealth of it, we're also dealing with the emotions and love of it as well. The emotions and love of it is, being rebellious and breaking against the traditions of how like relationships have gone, and matters of the heart and stuff. All of that is important as well. And Uranus is in Aries in the Vedic scale. That's bringing new beginnings to your space, which is essential. Jupiter is also here. Jupiter bringing, the sacral chakra up to the heart chakra. That's where you get those beautiful rose-colored glasses from. Jupiter is in Taurus, a sense of wisdom, oracle, downloads, tap into, that's the subconscious energy, expanding your energy, getting the downloads that's telling you where to go for your pinnacles. Like spirit got the wheel. Like you want abundance, spirit is going to bring you to abundance. It's going to bring you to the abundance that you need, that you desire, that you require, that you're really asking for. You don't get to control all the different details. You got to let go. You got to pull the world card a little bit and trust. However, you're going to get what you need. You're going to get what you ask for. Now, that's what's happening on the internal side. On the external side of things, on the external side of your heart chakra, as far as your experiences go, you have Ceres here giving you the nurturing energy that you require. Libra, we're dealing with the scales here. So while you're doing all that work and solidifying all those things, and the possessiveness and the self-esteem and the expression and the compassion and love and wisdom with the Uranus and Jupiter, what you're expressing on the outside of your heart chakra is your Libra scales. How balanced is your heart? How balanced is your wisdom? How balanced is your empathy, your apathy, and your sympathy? How balanced is your realms of forgiveness? How balanced is your self-esteem? How balanced are your pentacles? How balanced is your pentacle management? You know, your business management, your engagement in business. That's what Libra's showing in your external, you know, whether it's, you know, you and yourself showing people your how balanced you are, or your interpersonal energy exchanges with other people. You know, I'm giving you more money than you giving me. I'm giving you more love and compassion than you're giving me, or vice versa. Or it's balanced here. You get what I'm saying? So that's why that's the part of the external self. And you got series here, the give and take as far as nurturing each other goes, what you need in a relationship and what you require, that balance there. And you're also being analytical and paying attention to it and listening to it and seeing the patterns and the habits of it and the wellness of it with the Virgo energy on the Vedic scale. Mars is also here. You're being motivated by the Libra scales. When there's reciprocation happening in the space, oh, you go into it. We jump into it. We want to go where the reciprocation lies. Where the reciprocation resides, that's where you're going to find I. You hear me? So, you know, that's important for you. The fifth house, Leo house, coming back to that Leo energy, you know, being creative with it, tap into your inner child with it, your inner romantic, inner dramatic self with it, you know. You might be very enthusiastic. It might be super healing for you, you know. Allow your heart to guide the way in this realm, in these interpersonal relationships. Almaya is also here. Almaya is the realms of nature. Maki Maki is in alignment with the energy of Leo, which is like creation. So while you have the natural flow of things, you're naturally going to flow to where the reciprocation, where the balance is. However, it's going to be balanced based upon where your balance is. Okay? So don't forget that. It's going to be balanced where your balance is. So if your balance ain't really balanced, you're not going to get the balance that you think you deserve until you start really balancing your personal balance. That's how that works. You can't just walk into spaces unbalanced looking for proper Libra reciprocation. Like, that's just not how it's going to work here. You're going to get exactly what you're capable of giving out, what you're capable of doing, what you have been doing, etc., etc. And that's what that Almea and Maki Maki is saying. You know, you creating a reality. This is based upon you. South Node is also here. So South Node is what comes to us easily, right? And we are well versed in empires and justice and the my scales in Maya and the Libra scales and the court justice scales and lady justice and, you know, eye for an eye. We are very well versed in that. Karma, get blah blah blah, laws of physics, give and receive, and we're aligned. We're taking all of that we get from our Libra scales, and we're going to grab and we're going to carry it with us as we go towards the Aries node. Because Aries is in the North Node, and that's the energy of the new beginnings and the courageousness. And so we're taking the heart and the love and the compassion, and we're bringing it with us to our warrior spirit, to our motivation, to actually getting things done. That's the connection there between the North and South Node being in Libra and Aries. So it's not so much just about feeling. What are you doing? You could feel a lot of things, but if you're not doing anything about it, what's up? You're not as balanced as you think. And you're going to keep attracting those imbalanced things in your people, places, things, and situations. And like I told you, it's not just about romantic pursuits. We're also talking about the justice scales here too. If you feel certain ways about the way the hierarchy and the economics and, you know, different things go, you feeling all these things. You feeling all you letting Uranus and Jupiter do the work. You know, you transformations in the brain, new awareness, new downloads. Spirit is lighting away with that 12th house and stuff like that. All that's going on. But then when it's time to exert that in the Libra scales, you still going in balance because you still, let's go back down to the root chakra. Who's in charge of your root chakra? You or your boss or the government or your mom, your dad, your trauma? Who's in charge of your root chakra? Who's creating the discipline and the balances for you? Who's creating the challenges for you? You know you have the power to create your own challenges. You got to know that. You have to know that. That's the best way to rise above all this stuff. Like, okay, I defeated that. I feel like I did a good job. Now this is the next challenge I feel like I want next. That's what you did when you got here. So, align those two nodes. It's not just about feeling things, it's about doing it too. You could feel a lot of things are right or wrong, a lot of things are justice or injustice, but if you're not doing anything, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your breath, and you're wasting the ears of individuals that need to be around people that are actually going to speak on proactivity. It's time to do stuff. That's what Mars is there too. Mars is the energy of the motivator. Okay, you got all these feelings, you got all this awareness, you got all these things, all this compassion. What are we doing with it? A bunchia. I think that's a funny name I think it's a funny name. That's another asteroid in the Kuiper belt that deals with abundance, and that's also on the Libra scale. So again, like I said, however way you've been doing the work on the inside, however way you've been balancing yourself on the inside, that's how it's going to be expressed on the outside. So if you're dealing with some sense of imbalance, it's going to show in your pentacles. It's going to show in your love and your compassion. It's going to show in your self-esteem. It's going to show in your wisdom in these realms. It's going to show in your space of forgiveness, whether you're giving it or receiving. All right. So pulling a card, we are dealing with the Knave of Wands. And I like the Knave of Wands. See how he writing his own story? See how he's the recorder? And not only that, Wands is the energy of doing. So you know these things. You're writing these things. You're recording these things. You're making note of these things. But Wands says, now do something with it. So that's the energy there for you. Now we're going to get into the throat chakra. This is my favorite chakra, especially on a Wednesday. Well, now it's kind of Thursday, but it's okay. So, Mercury rules over Wednesdays, as you guys know. This is the space where you like communicate, you listen, you teach, you learn. This is where you pay attention to the patterns in your life, your habits and routine. Your wellness check is here in the throat chakra. Your moral and integral code is here as well. Mercury is sitting in Virgo in its home space. Mercury is actually in retrograde right now until September 16th. And then it'll go back in retrograde, I believe, in December. But let me double check my notes. Yes, December 13th till January 1st. That'll be the last retrograde of 2023. And just to remind y'all, I'm still doing retrograde readings. So if you would like a retrograde reading, the retrograde readings are in alignment to all the retrograde planets all the way up until January. But yeah, so with Mercury sitting in its home space in Virgo, this is like the Hermit card times 1,000 with like Follis next to it. The energy here is just like you're going back in your degrees. Mercury and Virgo can regress you back to old patterns and old habits. I know I started coffee again, but I'm fighting it, y'all. I had some mud water today and I was way better than coffee and I feel great about this. Regressing back to bad habits, old patterns, and it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It doesn't always have to be like, oh my God, I'm repeating a habit. And it doesn't have to be that deep, unless your Mercury is in Virgo like mine, then it does feel that deep. But just getting back into your moral and your ethical code, repeating patterns, different communication spaces, places, and energy exchanges. And this is in the 4th house, so this is like in your home and family where you might feel a lot of this around, or like your self-care, how you're caring for yourself, what you do for yourself, and how you nurture and care for others as well, and how you're receiving it from others as well. So it might be like certain relationships that you might be in, and you might feel them regressing in the throat chakra department. Like, bro, you used to really be like a service, now you're going regressing back to how we were in the beginning when you were like super detached. What's up? Having these conversations, but be nice about how you have them. Like, you don't want to be a jerk about it. But stay in your nurturing space, pay attention to what's going on, rise above this if you can, certain relationships, they probably won't make it. Communication is a big thing, and a lot of people who are unaware of how the throat chakra operates, especially in retrograde, might fall privy to this energy, and breakups may occur because of the miscommunications or the regression back in habits. You might be dating somebody who has some bad habits, and now they're regressing in their Mercury placement, and now their bad habits are returning, and these are bad habits that you didn't even know existed because this man had already went through, or this woman had already, rose above these habits, but now here they come again. And so now they are about to experience how their habit is affecting this relationship. And so they're going to make a choice of whether they're going to keep regressing in this bad habit or they're going to rise above it. You got to make a choice like, oh my God, I've dealt with somebody who had a bad habit like this before. And now you got to make a choice. See how that goes? It's different sides to the coin. So having that level of energy awareness is important. It's always nice to be dating someone who's just as spiritual as you are, so y'all both can look into things and rise above these things together. However, if one of y'all or none of y'all, this is what happens. See what I'm saying? And that's sucks the way the cookie crumbles. But that's that Virgo and Leo combination right there. Now, in the inside, the internal side of the throat chakra, all the inner working, we're dealing with Gemini, and that's, the lineage. Now we're dealing with your lineage and your family, the community around you, communication, the light traveling, how you label things, how you separate things, how you label in the lineage around and the people, places, and things around you and all that. That's all internal stuff, right? That's the internal structure, how you see things. So, you have Vesta here, Vesta in the place of passion, like people that are passionate about communicating and teaching and invoking and stuff like that. Like that's coming to the point. Sharing your passion with your community is a big thing. Your Vestral energy is going to be over your temperament, as Vesta is in the first house. So it's going to be easy to see people who are really tapped into their Vesta, like, walk across and be like, oh, I could tell you're an artist, or I could tell you're a teacher, or I could tell you are obviously a police officer. Like you're going to be able to see people's Vestral energy on top of them. Vestral energy is just your passion. Is psychologically speaking, when you're having sex, there are certain neurotransmitters that go off in your head. When you're engaging in this particular activity, those same neurotransmitters go off. Like me, my Vesta is actually in Gemini. So when I'm traveling, I do love to travel. It does feel as good as sex. And I do love communicating, and I do love teaching, and I do love learning new things. All of that stuff gives me the same energy, I feel like, and sometimes better. It depends on what partner we're talking about. Anyway, Vesta is in Gemini, and the tropical as well is in the Vedic chart. So that's fun. In addition to that energy, we also have Setna here. Now, Setna deals with like the overall consciousness of us. Now, Setna is very far out there. So like this orbit is very wide. Setna was actually in Taurus since the 1960s. And Setna entered Gemini energy like a month or so ago. So what's happening is, Sedna is now in retrograde. As you can see, we're in the cardinal energy of Gemini. We're now at a 0 degree. So soon, this asteroid will be going back into Taurus and will remain in Taurus for the remainder of the year. And then we will have Sedna, re-enter Gemini energy in 2024. Yep. And some fun facts about Sedna is it will be in perihelion, which is the closest to Earth, in 2075 to 2076. At that time, it should still be in Gemini energy. So it's still going to be, and this is a big deal planet, like as far as like really enlightening the spiritual awareness of us as a collective. And you got to think about the 1966, 60s was like the hippie space. And that's when, when it was like make love, not war, and all the love energy and stuff like that was like given born. And throughout time, it's just been a lot about love and togetherness and diversity and unity, and love being the answer and the solution to everything. And that was a lot of Sedna and Taurian energy, as well as materialization and wealth and expansion of the industrial, realms of things. But now we're moving that center. Right now it's in the, you know how you're changing channels on a radio station and you hear that sound in between? Right now it's inside of the sound between Taurus and Gemini. So we're in between the materialism and the heart chakra and the wealth and the compassion and the forgiveness and all that. We're in between that energy and moving towards Gemini, the intellect, the community energy. And my personal theory is, because I believe that when Setna was in Taurus, towards the end of Setna being in Taurus, we was dropping the motherfucking ball. However, in the Vita chart, Setna is still in the cardinal energy of Taurus. So we still got time to utilize the straddle between Gemini and Taurus to, like, you know, allow the community energy and the communication and all those things to like juggle the ball of Taurus and like bring back love. There's a big, you know, energy, you know, pushing us against love, especially like with this gender war stuff online and more separations and divisiveness and stuff like that. And yeah, with Senna and Taurus on the Vedic chart, we definitely can attract better and do better. I foresee us going back into the tribal realms. That's just me. But we'll see. We'll see in 2024 what happens. The ascendant starting off was in Gemini, and it started in Gemini, so we were rising in that, you know, intellect community. You guys probably waking up with aha moments on your mind, or if you stay up all night like I do most time, like this is the hour from like 11 to 1 was the hour of, you know, the ascendant energy. So that was Gemini. The Gemini, you know, zodiac just rolls across the horizon. It was, and then it was the Taurus constellation that rolls across the horizon between the hours of 11 and 1. So that now that it's 1:01 a.m., we're about to enter the Cancer. It's Cancer rising above the horizon from 1 to 3. So now we're in that feminine third eye energy. Ooh, the rest of this planetary forecast is fitting to be fire. This is actually like a really cool hour to do this because I'd be up, but I don't know. But yeah, that's the power of the ascendant energy. It changes every 2 hours, which is why it's important to know what time you were born. On the outside of your throat chakra, so all that stuff is the inner working. Now on the outside is like now we're, you know, still labeling and in the celestial text, and you're still dealing with the eighth sphere, Sept on the tree of life. You know, Virgo energy is now like materializing and agriculture and, you know, harvesting, you know, and that's the external experience. We have the sun here in that realm of harvesting and the agricultural experience. And right now the sun is opposite the moon, and we'll have the sun opposite Neptune on September 19th, which is my birthday. um, but yeah, this energy is, you know, the sun is all up in that intellectual energy, the daily routines. You know, now we're shedding a light on the daily routine. We're shedding a light on communication and teaching and learning and all that stuff. And that comes a lot with the school season starting up. Um, and Palace is our genius qualities that we overlook, you know. Um, in this realm is Virgo energy. And then it's in the fifth house of our inner child, our emotional and dramatic self. You know, what was your inner child good at learning? You know, also other people's children, the actual children out here. Like, what are you good at learning? What do you want to learn? What do you do? And this is also a lot to do with, like, you know, individuals coming into college and wanting to, and asking themselves the question, like, okay, what's my major going to be? What am I doing? What do I want to learn about? That's a lot of the palace in the fifth house in Virgo. And it's just about, like, you know, really like pay attention to your genius qualities that you overlook, the things that you say that you can't do, or you're not really into doing, or you're not sure you want to do, or something you used to be passionate about but you might have let go of, or you started doing less of for whatever reason. Like, go back to it as, you know, the person you are now, and see how that works for you, see how many windows that opens up, because the sun is here. So the sun is providing you with the experiences. So as you tap into like this palace energy and you play around with it, you go play, what is that name of that movie, Bedazzled, where you can, like, you know, trial and error it and see what kind of realities it creates for you, and if you like those realities. You know, one of the fallacies that they give us, you know, as beings here, is whatever you choose now, this has to be it for the rest of your life, like that the movie or whatever. But that's not true. You can do whatever you want, change your mind later. They try to like succumb your changes to a midlife crisis or Saturn return or Jupiter return, but it's not that cut and dry. You can change things however you see fit, especially if you have Scorpio energy heavy in your chart. Then, yes, you probably change things a lot. If you have Libra around your chart a lot, you probably are very indecisive and change things a lot. If your Mars is in Gemini, like mine, you probably change things a lot. Like, it's okay to change. Some of you guys are literally built here to change and change a lot and experience different things and tap into different things. And you should be allowed and open and okay with doing that without the indoctrination hovering you, telling you you're supposed to be the same and do the same shit forever, as if you don't have a progressive chart in alignment with your natal chart. Don't do that to yourself. You don't stay your natal chart forever. You do have a progressive chart. Allow yourself to grow and expand. Give awareness to the growth and expansion, you know? Your Sappho is also here. And this is like how you attract, other energies around you. This is, your poetic self. Let's see. This is how you captivate others and how you express your sexual self. And right now it's in Virgo energy. Y'all Virgo energy is nasty. But this is about really like cultivating things. How you're manifesting things for yourself in the Virgo energy. So right now it's really about putting in the work. If you want a certain kind of energy, you got to put in that certain kind of energy. We talked about that in the Libra scales, how like your heart, your vibration is really like what's coming into fruition in your reality right now. And Sappho kind of just like show improves the sun near Palace, showing improving that energy as well. Like all these energies, the sun comes first because the sun is in cardinal. But as the sun is moving towards those, it's shedding a light on the Palace and Sappho and Mercury as it's coming close to them, nearing their pathways and stuff like that. Mercury is the decision-making mind. That's who is going to cross by first, is Mercury. What decisions are we making? What are our patterns and our habits? Where are we going with this? Are we expressing them? Are we invoking them? Or are we being quiet and repressing them? How's that going for you? Are you going to change that? Let's see. Now we're going to go into Palace. What are these genius qualities you got in yourself that you keep overlooking? Invoke them. Go back into your inner child and invoke them. Talk to them. Listen to them. Speak life into them. Pisces Palace enters the Libra zodiac on September 13th around 12:35 p.m. also. And then the last, but most certainly not least, now we got Sappho. How are you captivating what it is that you want? How are you expressing what you want? Sappho more so deals with like your libido and your love and your sexual energy. However, that is all in realms of creation as well. You could align this with the Vesta energy. If you don't want to use it for actually being Sappho. I know some of y'all are celibate, yawn. But your celibate self can also just interchange this with Vestral energy, and you're utilizing the same energy here. So pulling a card for your throat chakra, we got the Four of Cups. 4 is a number of manifestation, materialization, as well as like stabilizing. Cups is the energy of emotions, your intuitive self, the feminine self. So this is a divine alignment of the masculine, feminine self. We want the divine alignment between this Gemini and Virgo. The everywhere and the solidified, kind of everywhere, because I am immutable Earth, but I'm still Earth though. Learn how to manifest what you want spiritually. That's what the sun is shining a light. The sun is that 4, bringing the realizations and the actualizations of Palace, Sappho, and Mercury into your space. All right. So now we're getting into last, but most certainly not least, the third eye chakra. Now, the third eye chakra deals with like the inner and outer self, your polarities of self, your masculine and feminine energy, the creative and the logical and rational, the imagination, you have the sun. Of course, the sun is Leo, Oromila. Now you're dealing with your ego and your experiences and, coordination and balance, that the celestial government administrates here, sheds the light for the realizations, for the external interactions and things like that. The moon, your moja or all set, is inside, internal energy. That's why it's associated with Cancer. Everything is inside the shell, all the ooey gooey, intuitive, sweet stuff, the nurturing energy, you know. And we started, 30th off with the moon and Aquarius energy. So it was in that social awareness, like internally speaking, you having this awareness of your social interactions, your friendships. Some of them you don't want anymore. And I'm telling y'all, be careful with that Hermit card. A lot of y'all are pulling the Hermit card, especially with the sun and the moon opposite in sister signs right now. Pisces is also another Hermit card energy, being a sister sign of Virgo energy. So be careful with that Hermit card that's being pulled today. Don't go under the illusions that you're supposed to go through things alone. As you shed the old relationships that are no longer serving you and the person that you're evolving to, you are making room for new relationships to come. And you don't get to control how fast they come. So some may come the very moment you let one go. You got to think about it. You're a walking atom with valence electrons. You don't know how strong your valence electrons are because you're not letting yourself know that. So as soon as you remove someone off of one of your electrons, somebody might come just like that because that's how magnetic your electrons are. You got to allow that to happen. Don't let indoctrination tell you, oh, no new friends. Oh, when you do this, you're supposed to wait this amount of time before somebody else comes into your space. Or, oh, you got to go through things, especially this Instagram spiritual bullshit telling you you're supposed to go through things by yourself. Yeah, certain things you are going to be by yourself because your electromagnetic field is just not open for connection right now. Or you might be so caught up in trying to control all your connections. You think all these connections you create are supposed to be for a lifetime, and that's not realistic. You are always growing and expanding. And if you are trying to hold on to everybody and everything that comes into your life for a lifetime, you're preventing yourself from growing and expanding, and you're preventing other souls from growing and expanding, and you're creating karmic energy here. Because a lot of other people that are supposed to experience you and supposed to experience that other person or those other people, they're not getting those experiences. So you're holding up the line. You're creating a tumor here. You're creating a clot here in flow because you're being a hoarder of energy. Don't do that. I'm not saying like completely like detach and everything is everything, but let that moon in Aquarius let you know that letting go is okay. And it makes room for a new. It's not about being alone. It's about transformation and evolution and revolution. It has nothing to do with being alone. You focused on the wrong things. That's like getting into a relationship and the only thing you focused on is the divorce. Well, in a divorce, you want to get everything. Well, why are you focusing on divorce? I thought we were happy. Why we can't just be together and just be? Maybe if we just be together and just be, the separation won't be ugly when it happens and you ain't got to worry about me taking all your stuff. Maybe it'll be amicable and we'll be able to shake hands because we treated each other so well throughout the relationship. We don't need to take from each other in the separation. Think about things like that instead. that's a mindset for you, right? But that's what the Aquarius energy, that's level of social awareness and social justice and social revolution is there for you. And now we're in the realms of, the moon is still in Aquarius on the Vedic side. However, in the tropical side, we are in Pisces. So I want y'all to rise above to at least be the line in the middle. When you look at the Pisces symbol, you see the fish going up and you see the fish going down. I don't want you to be those fish. I want you to be the line in the middle in between both those fishes. You get to have both sides. Peace, peace. You said, what is my date of birth? Oh, my date of birth is September. I'm 9/19. 9/19. And we don't have anything in Cancer right now. We don't have any celestial bodies that I know of, but I'm pretty sure that there's some asteroids over there. And as I expand, y'all already know, y'all expand, we're going to expand together. We did expand to a lot of asteroids this episode, so thank y'all for riding with me on that one. But over here on the Leo side, the Oromila side, the sun or Heru right now is in Virgo and the tropical realms. Oh, thank you. It's in Virgo and the tropical realms. We are in the fourth house of it. So being of service, being of servitude, you got all these back to school events, backpack giveaways. We had an event out here where somebody's giving out free haircuts and hair braiding, and I think that is so nice. We're in a space where people are donating school supplies, donating to each other, donating, school clothes, this, that, and the third, being of service, community cleanups. It's time to sign up for volunteer work. I think this week, in a couple weeks, they're going to have a volunteer expo at the county library out here where I live at. I'm trying to take my sons over there so they have stuff to do. Helping others is the realm here. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited. My solar return has begun. This season, I want to tap into my soul, my sacral chakra, and every year I embrace my sacral chakra even more and more. So I guess that's how I feel like slowly moving into my Jupiter return when I finally get my karma energy from that. But yeah, I'm just, every year I see like different things bring me joy. Before it was like throwing all these parties and stuff like that. And then I got into a space where it's like, I don't want to do that anymore. Nobody throws me parties. I feel like throwing myself a party is like I'm paying for everyone else to have a good time. And everybody just keeps buying me liquor and I don't drink. I still have liquor bottles for my 30th birthday party here. And I just make Florida water with them. But this year I'm just going to do a bunch of little things for myself. I got some dates planned for myself. I really love how I treat myself. I'm like my best boyfriend, which is funny because all my personal planets are Virgo, which is associated with Sept, and all my interpersonal planets are Capricorn, which is damn it, I'm gonna lie to you. Is it Thoth? No, I don't know. But they're married. So I'm literally my own husband. And I used to make jokes about that all the time. When I was in high school, I wrote a poem about marrying myself. And see? Probably will. But anyway, let's come back to the sun. The sun is in Virgo. It's still in Leo constellation though. So, you're still feeling like that heart chakra vibe. You're still being in touch with your with the external side of your simulation, still knowing that you run a simulation and stuff like that, and getting in tune with the agriculture. Oh yeah, I'll definitely I'll give you some Florida water. I'll make some more. I had one bottle that was like sitting here. Is it here? Yeah. I'll like mix it with like, what is this? I had like my bay leaves and cinnamon stick, and I got orange peels and stuff in here. And this one has been in here a while. You see how dark it is now? It's pretty dark now. That's more so from the cinnamon stick. It makes it really dark. But it be smelling good. Sometimes I'll just be putting it on me. And so in the Leo side of things, we have... Oh, that would be fun. I would love to do that. Your yard would be so nice. Lilith is over here in Leo. So, a lot of us are being triggered by different things happening in our simulation. Also paying attention to the different things in our simulation, paying attention to the primordial energies, the different patterns in that primordial energy in our simulations, as well as, our inner child being triggered, our inner dramatic self being triggered, and all that fun stuff. All of that is associated with Lilith energy being in the sun. Venus is also here. We talked about Venus, our heart chakra, being in alignment with our mind, and then on the Vedic scale being in alignment with the with the creative side, the spiritual side of the mind. So Venus right now is straddling between the left and the right side of the third eye. So that's a beautiful alignment of your mind and your heart vibration, creating your simulation. And your Lilith is letting like, well, what do you really want to create? You'll be watching all these other people create a world for themselves, and it invokes something in you, and you believe that they should repress it. Like, I'll give you an example. You got these goddesses out here that are very much in charge of their sexual energy. Well, not everybody's in charge of their sexual energy, but you have these sexual beings out here, and it may be triggering to you. And it's like, well, I don't feel like they should, be doing all that, but they're creating the reality that they want to see. They want a reality where they have nice things and nice clothes, and they have people following them and showering them with gifts and doing nice things for them, and they have money in abundance. Pieces. They have all these things. That's the reality that they wanted for themselves. And so this is what they did to get it. Now, what part of that triggers you is how they went about it. But ask yourself, is that a piece of you that you were repressing yourself? Do you repress that because somebody taught you to? Who taught you to repress that? And why did, or how and why do they, benefit from you repressing that side of yourself? Those are different dialogues you can have with yourself. Now, you might go through that dialogue and still say, hey, I'm still going to clutch my pearls and wear my turtlenecks. That's still your business. But at least you had that conversation, though. And now you have better awareness, and hopefully you have more respect for the people and how they choose to create their simulation, because it matters. Juno is also here. And Juno is also a part of that conversation. Like, what do you need in a bond? What do you need in a project? What do you need in an energy exchange for you to want to maintain that energy exchange, for you to want to stay in it? Juno was crazy. Juno is Hera. And that woman did everything but leave that man. She killed the child. She killed the love children. She killed the side chick. She threw niggas in the stars. She turned people into bears and wolves. She did everything but leave her husband. I don't understand it. However, that's where we're at as a collective. We will do everything but leave the simulation. Because, Leo or Mila is the simulation. This is the coordinator and the balancer. This is the celestial government administrates here. And you have to go back down to your root chakra and say, well, who's in charge? Who's in charge here? Who's running you? Keep it 100. A lot of y'all are being ran by the Federal Reserve. So let's bring it back up to the third eye. You're doing everything but leave the Federal Reserve. Everything but. And then it's also being simulated in your community, that third house energy. So now you're attracting people in your community who's doing everything but leave the Federal Reserve. Now, say your Lilith and your Venus is in another place. Oh, I want to, I want to live amongst other people. I want to be free. I want to do da-da-da. I want to do this. I want to do that. You want to do all these different things. However, your Juno will do everything but leave that Federal Reserve. You see that tug of war there? We want to fix that. And that was just an example. You guys got other examples, probably better examples. Probably that little knuckleheaded ass boy you won't stop texting, or that girl, that dusty daughter you won't stop texting. You'll do everything but leave this person. And that's literally the last thing you have to do to get what you need. You'll do everything but move out of that house. That's literally that's the one thing that you just won't do. You'll do everything but. I'll do everything but this one thing. You got to figure out why that's holding you back. You got to figure out if you holding on to that is really the simulation that you want. Some of y'all lying to yourselves and acting like y'all want something that y'all don't have just because you don't have it. And that ain't really what you want. Those different conversations to have with yourself, especially with the moon in Pisces and the sun shedding a light on that, on the hidden agendas and the secrets that you have that you keep within yourself. And they're going to keep showing in your simulation until you be honest with yourself. Like, what's really going on with you? What do you really want? Who's really in charge? We got the 3 of Wands here. Creation, getting it done. You are in charge of your simulation. You are in charge of your simulation. And you got, it's a power in that, but you got to be responsible. If you're not responsible, you don't really want the power. And that be them people that'll do everything but. Which is booty. So when we get all these celestial bodies in alignment, we get all these physical bodies. Y'all know that once we enter the crown chakra, we're no longer in the physical realm. So now we're dealing with the pathway in between our physical self and our auric body. So this deals with the crown of your head. So this is where your auric body gets formed from. So you do all the work in your bottom 6 chakras, the physical self of the chakras or whatever. You do all that physical work, and maybe some are balanced here and overactive here and underactive here, or maybe they're all balanced, or maybe they're all overactive or underactive, whatever. It's your world. But no matter what those configurations are, the product is going to come out of here into your aura. People are going to feel it. I used to go to a church where it was all like psychics. And whenever I was in a bad mood, everybody felt it. It was they were very much connected at the crown chakra. I'll tell you, you couldn't do nothing. You couldn't think nothing in there. Don't think nothing in there unless it's a thought that you want someone else to hear. Like, because the crown chakras in there were very like, as soon as you walk in the room, just like straight connection. It's actually pretty dope. I actually really liked it there. So we're actually about to enter the equinox. The autumn equinox is September 23rd. And we got our summer triangle, and it's still moving more and more out west. So you're going to start to see, the summer triangle moving off to the side. This is in relation to China, so it's not really like geographically correct, but you get where I'm going with this. And the constellations are going to start to be more midheaven while the summer triangle goes down. Today we had the moon hanging out with Saturn today, and that was cool. And that was in the Aquarius constellation, the Pisces zodiac. And so we had that nice, the conjunction was at 1:46 p.m. The moon was 3 degrees south. Minimal angle was at 2:58 p.m. where the moon was 2.9 degrees south southeast, and we were able to observe that last night at 8:08 p.m. with a 4.5 east southeast separation. The full moon began at 9:36 p.m. and that's when the Earth is between the moon and the sun. Also, Jupiter was quintile Saturn at 11:11 p.m. Jupiter is in Taurus at 33 degrees, and then Saturn is in Pisces at 33 degrees. So you have that, that little separation slice there or whatever. So it's kind of like the moving, and I would say that was kind of like close to like a square type energy. A little bit of opposition there between the Jupiter and Saturn, a little bit of like challenges coming to your space of wisdom and stuff. You had to sort through some things first. Also today, the moon in Deneb El Jelde were at minimal angle at 2:17 a.m. The moon was 2.6 degrees south southeast. Tomorrow or today, August 31st, we rise at midnight. Of course, at midnight we had a 100% full moon. The rising at 8:14, the setting at 6:52, the sun rising at 6:26 a.m., the setting at 7:32 p.m. The Venus is in conjunction with the sun, and this is visible just before sunrise. And both of them are in that Virgo zodiac energy or the Leo constellation. So you have, the left and right eye. Well, the sun is in Virgo, but it's still in Leo constellation. And so you have that, Urumila energy over there. I'm looking for my star paper. Oh, there it is. And then we also have the comet 103P Hartley 2 passing through the open clusters of M34 in the Perseus constellation. I love comets. So astrologically speaking, a comet astronomically speaking first, a comet is kind of like a little dust nugget that goes through the sky and has been going through the sky since the beginning of the creation of the sky, I don't know when, and it just connects to little dust nuggets around them. It's like a snowball effect. And the snowball is just going through the cosmos, picking up other dust nuggets. And so whenever we have a comet go across a constellation, it's like bringing the knowledge of the ancients, bringing the energy of the ancients of the beginning, like the actual like alpha, like ground zero energy across that constellation. Perseus constellation is the energy of the mystical warrior, the spiritual warrior. So we have the ancient knowledge crossing that warrior energy. So it was a great day of tapping into Do the Knowledge Radio today, I will tell you. September 1st, we start off the day with a 98 Wan and gibbous moon. We're moving into the moon of cleansing. The sunrise at 6:26 a.m. and setting at 7:31 p.m. The moon and Neptune will be in conjunction at 4 a.m. The moon will be 1.9 degrees south, minimal angle at 5:58 a.m. The moon will be 1.5 degrees south southeast, and we'll be able to observe that at 5:08 a.m. with a 1.6 south southeast separation. We know Neptune is in the Piscean zodiac energy. The moon is as well as in the constellation, and so at this space and time, the moon will be in the Piscean constellation near Neptune energy. So like a big opening of the subconscious on September 1st is a big thing. That's going to be a nice time to really like meditate, tap in. I know the full moon is a big deal, but this is like the moon of cleansing here in the wanting. So a lot of opening up of what to get rid of, um, as well in the realms of healing. Because Neptune and Piscean energy deals with the areas that you have hidden, that you've like buried, and you need to heal, and you need to open up. And now we're getting into the depths of the subconscious and the depths of self and the depths of the collective. So for my like super duper empaths here, I would say like wrap your head up, especially if you're going into public spaces, because this will be a space and time where you would really be attracting other people's deep thoughts and things like that. And if you're one of those people that can't differentiate between someone else's thought and your own thought, yes, it's a good time to kind of like, wrap your hair, wrap your head, do something. The International Space Station is visible from 4:12 to 4:17 in the Draco constellation, and then again from 5:46 a.m. to 5:55 a.m. still in the Draco constellation. Alpha Aurigates, which is a meteor shower, will reach max activity in the Auriga constellation. They go about 6 an hour. The equation of time, which is the sundial time minus the watch time, will be at 0. So on this day, the sundials will show the correct time, and the sun will transit the ecliptical at 12:59 p.m. before going into descending node. Ceres will enter the Libra constellation at 11:30 p.m. We know Ceres is the energy of nurturing and agricultural energy, and so it's entering in. So it's been in the Libra zodiac, but now it's also entering the Libra constellation as well. So being in the space of reciprocation is going to be in the forefront of everyone. Y'all need reciprocation in y'all spaces. It's the only way. And if you're not allowing yourself to feel that in certain interpersonal relationships, whether they be by bond, by contract, or interpersonal relationships, then it needs to change. It's as simple as that. But you got to tap into your solar plexus and stop being so scary. September 2nd, 94% wanting gibbous moon, still in the moon of cleansing, the sun rising at 6:27 a.m. and the sun setting at 7:29 p.m. The International Space Station will be visible from 3:26 a.m. to 3:28 a.m. in Ursa Major constellation, and then 4:58 a.m. to 5:06 a.m. in the Draco constellation. Venus will be stationary at 6:03 p.m. and then begin the prograde motion. The evening visibility of Aries begins, and Pallas will be entering the Virgo constellation at 10 p.m. So that'll be a good time, Pallas entering the Virgo constellation, because we know Pallas is already in the Pallas is in Leo. So Pallas entering the Virgo constellation around 10 p.m. That's cool. So now you're straddling between your thoughts and then like actually harvesting things into the physical realm. And then we get into September 3rd at an 88% waning gibbous moon, still cleansing, sun rising at 6:28 a.m. and setting at 7:28 p.m. The moon will be on an ascending node orbit, so you'll start to see the moon go further and further out, further and further away. The International Space Station will be visible from 4:12 a.m. to 4:17 a.m. and again in Draco constellation, and again in Draco at 4:46 a.m. and 5:55 a.m. Mercury is the smallest distance to the Earth at 11:04 a.m. Mercury will be trine Jupiter. Mercury will be at 16 degrees in Virgo, and Jupiter is at 15 degrees in Pisces. So that creates a trine. Trines move together in harmony. So you can utilize that intellect and that pattern. You might find yourself moving into a pattern where you're like, oh, I recognize this. This was the last time I made a bunch of money. So you make a bunch of money there again. And that's always a good time. Venus will be I don't know. Okay, so certain days. So it depends on what part of the world you're on. Venus will be either stationary on the 2nd or on the 3rd. Depends on where you at. Over here on the East Coast, it's 3rd. September 4th, we're at an 80% waning gibbous moon, the moon rising at 10 and setting at 11:52 a.m. The sun rising at 6:29 a.m. and setting at 7:26 p.m. The International Space Station will be visible in Ursa Major at 3:25 to 3:28 a.m. and the Draco constellation from 4:58 a.m. to 5:06 a.m. Juno and Persepi will be in conjunction at 11:15 a.m. Juno will be 9.4 degrees south. Juno is the place, that's the Hera energy. What do you need in this bond or this contract or whatever to stay within it? Persepi is a star in the Oh, I did all those notes. Oh, I know where that is from. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna remake myself another book. Persephone is located in the Cancer constellation. This is the head of the crab, and this brings on the spirit of the ancestors, and it also can bring disease and disgrace. So just like be careful with that star over there. But that also comes into a space where some of these like relationships, some of these bonds that you're in, that you're kind of like really devoted to being in, are not doing you well. So that might be a space time where you experience some resistance in that bond or whatever. However, like it's up to you. Some of y'all is a Christian rock, and that's okay. I was a Christian rock for like 9 years. I ain't even bad. I'm just so glad my shit not on Instagram because y'all is mean. I'm so glad my 20s is not on Instagram because y'all be judging me like. Thank you. Jupiter is also stationary on September 4th at 4:26 p.m. and then it will begin its prograde motion. The moon and Jupiter will be at minimal angle at 3:10 p.m. The moon will be 2.5 degrees north northwest, conjunction at 4:06 p.m. The moon will be 2.6 degrees north. We'll be able to observe that at 10:20 at night with a 5.8 degree northeast separation, and that'll be pretty cool, especially knowing that Jupiter will be just entering the retrograde motion when you're looking at that conjunction and minimal angle. Mercury will also be trying Jupiter on this day as well, them both now being at a 15 degree angle. So you'll be able to go with the flow between Moon, Jupiter, and Mercury. Now you can create a bit of a triangle there with the mother energy, the home and family, the nurturing energy, in alignment with the father, Jupiter energy, generosity, chivalry, or whatever, creation. And then you have Mercury there with the patterns and the invocation. So, you can really do some invoking on September 14th. I mean, not 14th, September 4th is an invocation day. September 5th, we start the day off with a 70% wine and gibbous moon, the sun rising at 6:38 a.m. and setting at 7:24 p.m. The moon and Uranus will be at minimal angle at 1:38 a.m. The moon will be 2.1 degrees north northwest, conjunction at 4:23 a.m. The moon will be 2.5 degrees north, and that will be visible at those respective times. The International Space Station will be visible in the Ursa Major constellation from 4:12 a.m. to 4:17 a.m. and then again from 5:45 a.m. to 5:55 a.m. The east side of the moon, which is Mare Crisium, will be tipped into view at 8 a.m. The activity of the Epsilon Perseus begin. The max activity is going to be on September 10th, and they move at like 5 an hour. The moon and Pleiades will be in conjunction at 4:29 p.m. The moon will be 2 degrees south, minimal angle at 5:04 p.m. The moon will be 1.9 degrees south southeast. We'll be able to observe that at 10:54 p.m. with a 4.4 east separation. Y'all know Pleiades is a part of the Seven Sisters, how we deal with our wounds in our space, coping with sorrow, and all those type of things. So now you have your emotional, your nurturing energy, putting a spotlight on your sorrows. September 9th, we are no, how'd I go from the 5th to the 9th? Where's 6? Oh, September 6th, we start off the day with a 59% wine and gibbous moon, still in that space of cleansing. The sunrise at 6:31 a.m. and setting at 7:23 p.m. Full Mohawk will be opposite the sun at 2:47 a.m. This is the best visibility of the year. Full Mohawk is a star in the Pisces constellation. It's actually located in the southern fish of the star. It gives off. It's actually one of the four horsemen stars, and it gives off the energy of Venus and Mercury, psychic, heart, and it's a refined royal star. So that's pretty cool. Royalty is happening on that day. The moon and Aldebaran will be in conjunction at 2:33 p.m. The moon will be 8.7 degrees north. Aldebaran is a star in the Taurus constellation. This gives off the energy of courage. It's also the beginning of a large political undertaking. So if you watch CNN or CNA, something might be brewing on that day with the moon and Aldebaran in conjunction. This also gives off the energy of honor, intellect, and courage. Mercury will be in inferior conjunction, which means Mercury will be between the Earth and Sun at 7:02 a.m. Mercury will be 3.8 degrees south southwest. The last quarter moon will be at 6:22 p.m. This is the moon of transition, and this is where we like look back on how far we've come since the full moon on August, today, August 30th to September 6th, and we use the lessons between those two spaces to further self. Now, September 7th, we're still in the moon of cleansing, the wand and crescent cleansing. So now we're coming into a space where we're cleaning up like intangible things. The sun rising at 6:32 a.m. and setting at 7:21 p.m. The International Space Station is visible from 4:12 to 4:17 in Ursa Major and from 5:45 to 5:55 in the Perseus constellation. The AM visibility of Leo begins. Sun will be trine Jupiter, so you have your ego and your experiences in alignment with your generosity, your wisdom, and your sacral chakra. Both a sun being at 14 degrees, Jupiter being at 15 degrees. El Noth and the moon will be in lunar occultation at 7:17 p.m. and no, this will not be visible. September 8th, we'll be at a 38% waning crescent moon, the moon of cleansing. The sunrise at 6:33 a.m. and be setting at 7:20 p.m. The International Space Station will be visible from 3:26 a.m. to 3:28 a.m. in the Lynx constellation, and then again at 4:59 a.m. to 5:06 a.m. in the Lynx/Camelopardalis constellation. The moon in Tejas posterior will have minimal angle at 2:36 p.m. The moon will be 5.2 degrees north, conjunction at 12:50 p.m. The moon will be 5.3 degrees north, and we'll be able to observe that at 5:46 a.m. with a 6-degree north-northwest separation. Now, Tejas posterior is a star in the Gemini constellation. This is located on the back foot. This gives off the energy of protection, force, returning from a journey. Also, tapping into your health at this time is a good space. We know moon rules your mind, as well as Gemini ruling your ear, nose, and throat area. This is a good time if you need to take any type of decongestion measures or whatever. Start making your tinctures and teas around the space and time as well. The moon will be at max north declination at 9:10 a.m. So the moon will be the furthest as it could be. Sun will be trine Jupiter, both at 15 degrees at this time. So your ego and experiences are still going to be in alignment with your generosity, your sacral chakra. And that's also, if your sacral chakra is repressed and you're not allowing your sacral chakra to do what it's going to do, then that's going to also mirror in your experiences at this time as well. Sappho will enter the Libra zodiac at 11:22 p.m. Remember, Sappho is the asteroid in the Kuiper belt that's all about being captivated. So now we are being captivated by justice and balance on the Libra scales. September 9th, we starting off the day at a 29% waning crescent moon. We're still in the moon of cleansing the intangible. Not too much happening September 9th, except for the sun rising and the sun setting. September 10th, we're at a 21% waning crescent moon. The sun rising at 6:35 a.m. and setting at 7:16 p.m. The moon and Castor are going to be in conjunction at 7:50 p.m. The moon will be 5.9 degrees south of Castor. Castor is one of the Gemini twins. This is the energy of honor, intellect, and learning. Castor gives off the energy of Mercury. So you have your eternal energy, your nurturing space, and all that stuff being in alignment with the energy of intellect, and that's fun. The moon and Pollux will also be in conjunction, so the moon will be going through both the Gemini twins on September 10th. So you have the mortal and the immortal, the intellect and the rash and violent twin. So you're gonna have a nice little mixture of both of those energies that day. Good luck. That conjunction will occur at 11:28, so that'll be later on in the evening. The moon will be 2.3 degrees south, minimal angle at 11:10 p.m. The moon will be 2.3 degrees south, and we'll be able to observe that at 2:20 a.m. with a 2.9 degrees southeast separation. The moon south pole will be tipped into view at 4:22 a.m. The Alpha Arcturus will reach the end of activity. The Epsilon Perseus will reach their max activity, and they're coming from the Perseus constellation, and they move at 5 an hour. The activity of the Southern Taurids will also reach max activity on this day. The activity of the Southern Taurus will begin on this day. Now, the max activity of this meteor shower is on October 10th, and they move at 5 an hour. And the evening visibility of Jupiter begins. So September 10th is a big day for meteor showers. And what we like about meteor showers is it's like the same thing that rain does. It brings the minerals from the cosmos into the soil, especially as like we're in the realms of harvest and agriculture with that Virgo energy. And mind you, the sun doesn't enter Virgo constellation until September 18th. And that's when we, start getting closer to the harvest moon and stuff like that. So, we welcome the minerals from the cosmos to go into our soils as our soils prepare to go into hibernation mode themselves. The soil gets frozen and stuck and things like that. Now, September 11th, we're starting the day off at a 14% waning crescent moon, still in the moon of cleansing the intangibles. The sun rising at 6:36 a.m. and setting at 7:15 p.m. The moon in Persepi will have minimal angle at 1:42 a.m. The moon will be 3.3 degrees north, conjunction at 12:55 a.m. The moon will be 3.3 degrees north, and we'll be able to observe that at 3:42 a.m. with a 3.5 degree north-northeast separation. Persepi is the star in the Cancer constellation. This is located on the head of the crab, assisting us in dealing with disease and disgrace, as well as adventure, and the adventure can be kind of brutal, but it's still fun, right? I don't know. That's what we're going to be dealing with. Have fun. September 12th, we're starting the day off at an 8% waning crescent moon. The sun rising at 6:37 a.m. and setting at 7:13 p.m. The best visibility of Earth shine on the moon will be just before sunrise. So you know how sometimes if you get outside really early, the moon can appear to look full. That's what you'll be experiencing. It's just the sun light is reflecting off the Earth onto the moon. So the moon is just showing what the rest of Earth looks like. And that's essentially what's happening when the moon is around other stars in conjunction and stuff like that. And what's happening is that light, that shine is going on to the moon. The Mars and Parima will be at minimal angle at 12:07 p.m. Mars is going to be 2.3 degrees south-southwest of Parima, and no, this will not be visible. Mars is the energy of, ambition and getting things going and motivation and things like that. And Parima is the star of prophecy. So I would really tap into my mediums and my psychics and things on that day, listen to their prophecies and things like that, because a lot of that stuff may be coming into fruition. That is definitely a day to follow a conspiracy theorist and listen to their theories, because a lot of them are definitely tuned into the cloud of the creators of those, conspiracies. Um, mm, 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 mm. Moon will be the furthest distance to the Earth at 12:15 p.m. on that day. Now, on September 13th, we're starting the day off at a 3% waning crescent moon, still cleaning the intangibles. The sun rising at 6:38 a.m. and setting at 7:11 p.m. The moon in Regulus will be at minimal angle at 12:26 a.m. The moon will be 3.2 degrees north-northeast, conjunction at 10:56 p.m. The moon will be 3.3 degrees north, and we'll be able to observe that at 5:26 a.m. with a 4.4 east-northeast separation. Regulus is the brightest object in the Leo constellation. It's actually 4 stars. It's 2 pairs of 2 stars. And this star brings on the energy of glory, riches, power. It's a royal star. It also means little king, heart of the lion, Arabic. It gives off the energy of Mars and Jupiter, circulating the generosity and the wealth as well as the wisdom. So that is fun. I do love Regulus. Regulus is a fun star to be around. The moon and Mercury will be in conjunction on September 13th as well at 2:34 p.m. The moon will be 5.3 degrees north, minimal angle at 7:33 p.m. The moon will be 4.5 degrees north-northeast, and no, this will not be visible as the moon is still is entering its new moon phase. A lot of these conjunctions with other celestial bodies will not be visible. We already know Mercury is the energy of intellect and patterns. They'll both be in that Virgo energy. So the energy of thinking and overthinking. Please show some level of emotional intelligence that day, and don't let your overthinking control you or your emotions, or pull you back into bad habits and things of that nature, because it will do that, as Mercury will still be in retrograde during this conjunction. Vesta will be entering the Cancer zodiac at 9:13. On 9:13 at 7:22 p.m. We know Vesta is the Vestral fire, the energy of your passion. So your passion is going towards the home and family, the nurturing space. As a lot as you guys start to come into the house, and also in alignment with cuffing season. It's time to bring someone into the house. Pallas will be entering the Libra zodiac. So now we have, the genius qualities that you overlook, and finding some level of balance, justice, and harmony in the realms with that. That will be happening at 12:35 p.m. that day. September 14th, we are starting the day off at a 1% waning crescent moon. We're cleaning the last little bit of clutter in the corners of the room. The sun rising at 6:39 p.m. and setting at 7:10 p.m. I'm getting old. Mars and Parima are in conjunction at 1:03 a.m. Mars will be 2.5 degrees south. We know Parima is the star of prophecy. So being motivated by the prophecies that we've experienced when, the initial minimal angle occurred on September 12th will be, very nice. In addition to that, the AM visibility of Mercury will also begin. Mercury will be stationary at 7:22 p.m. before it begins its prograde motion, and then the new moon will rise at 9:40 p.m. That is when the moon is between the sun and the earth, and of course, the new moon is never visible. So that's what we have going on the 14th. Now on September 15th, we're starting the day off with a 0% new moon. So now we're in the moon of renewal. This is a new moon phase. We're in new stuff, new shit. September 15th is also my brother's birthday. So happy early birthday. I have two brothers that are Virgos. One is September 9th, and I think he'll be like 6 years old. My kids are older than my brother. And then I have another brother who will be like he's slowly entering his Saturn return, and Lord bless him. The sun rising at 6:40 a.m. and setting at 7:08 p.m. The sun will be trying Uranus on this day as well, but the sun will be at 21 degrees in Virgo, while Uranus will be in 22 degrees Taurus. And so, that alignment between your ego and your experiences and, rebelling against traditions will be big on that day. Venus will be trying Jupiter as well. So you got a nice little triangle there happening between your experiences, your ego, and your energy exchanges with masculine energy. I'm sorry. Venus, sun is trying Uranus while Venus is trying Jupiter. Two different trines. It just mixed me up because Uranus and Jupiter are in the same zodiac. So you could still make triangles there, either with Uranus and Jupiter and Venus or Uranus and Jupiter and the sun. It's still a triangle that can be made there, especially for my spellcasters that want to create in those realms with the breaking against traditions, creating, generosity and wealth, or, attracting love. And then I'll always allow that sun to be the top of the triangle, because the sun is going to be the projector. The sun sheds light and bends light to create things as we see it, to create the simulation. So you want the sun to be the top, and then you pick the two bottoms. Pick the two bottoms, is whatever you want. Ceres enters the Scorpio zodiac, so transformations to your realms of nurturing, what you require, what you give, more empowerment in the request as well as in the reception of it. We're stepping into our solar plexus chakra in the agricultural realm. Transformations occurring for my farmers and my gardeners out there. Am I right? Transformations occurring around this time in the soil, in the weather, and the crops. So now you're moving from those, summertime, cool down time crops. Now we're moving into the winter crops, the squashes and things. That's occurring at 8:47 a.m. The new moon is at 9:41 p.m. is when, we stay in that realm. September 16th, we're starting the day off with a 1% waxing crescent moon. Now we're in the moon of building, and we're starting off with building intangible things. The sun rising at 6:41 a.m. and setting at 7:06 p.m. The moon in Parima. Now Parima done got lit up last week, or with the last couple of days, with Mars circulating it and activating it and giving it ambition. So now we have the moon and Parima getting together. So now you have the emotional energy on that realm of prophecy, and also aligning it with your third eye, which is the internal simulation that you create, or the whole world that you create going on in the inside, and prophecies happening in that. Lots of downloads happening on September 16th. The minimal angle will occur at 8:29 a.m. The moon will be 1.7 degrees south-southwest. Conjunction at 10:41 a.m. The moon will be 2 degrees south, and no, this will not be visible. The moon and Mars will be at minimal angle, like I said, and this will be a nice triangle if you want to align the moon, your nurturing space, the maternal energy in alignment with the prophecy, and, circulating it, bringing it to your solar plexus. That'll be a nice triangle between moon, Mars, and Parima. Now, moon and Mars will be at minimal angle at 3:42 p.m. The moon will be 0.1 degrees west-southwest of Mars. Conjunction at 4:14 p.m. The moon will be 0.2 degrees south. Occultation will actually take place. Now, occultation is like an eclipse. It's just like with the sun and moon has an eclipse. Whenever the moon has like a quote-unquote eclipse with another planet, it's called an occultation. So we have an occultation with the moon and Mars. Objects will not be visible, of course, because the moon is still in its new moon phase. Evening visibility of the moon begins. The sun will be trine Uranus on this day. Venus will be square Jupiter. The degrees just switched up a little bit. So now the sun and Uranus will both be at 22 degrees. 22, y'all know, is the energy of the mass architect. So at this point in time, you can utilize that 22 number of the architect, which adds into 4, which is stabilization, materialization, depends on however you want to look at it, and utilize the energy of the oracle to sage those downloads that you may be getting from the moon, Mars, and Parima, that you could also be getting from Jupiter. Now you can align those with your sun and really put them in your outer simulation. And that's if you want them to happen. You have the power. You just, allow the stars. If you need the stars to be a ruler to show you where your power is, then do that until you don't need it no more. It's that simple. Venus is square Jupiter. So it's some resistance here between Venus and Jupiter on this day, between what your emotions and your heart wants and what's in the realms of business, wealth, what, the downloads you might get might go against some of your emotions, might go against what might feel good and stuff like that. So that's a crossroad decision you'll have to make there depending upon the details of what's going on. Now, I think that's cool because Psyche will actually be entering the Scorpio constellation on this day as well. And that's going to be happening around 11 o'clock p.m. And we know Psyche is pretty self-explanatory. It's your psyche. It's your psychological self. And it's entering the realm of empowerment. Scorpio is the masculine energy of the solar plexus chakra. Extreme transformations here, high highs, low and lows. We're entering the infinity energy. We're entering the energy of like willpower and control. So, who's in control of your psyche? We're going to see. September 17th, we're at a 4% waning crescent moon. The moon rising at 9:04 a.m. and setting at 8:17 p.m. The sun rising will be at 6:42 a.m. and setting at 7:05 p.m. The moon is Spica. Now we're still in the Virgo zodiac energy. That will be in conjunction at 10:30 a.m. The moon will be 2.1 degrees north. Minimal angle at 1:50 p.m. The moon will be 1.6 degrees northeast. And of course, while the moon is still in this moon and is in that position between the Earth and the sun, it still will not be visible. Now, Spica is the brightest star in the Virgo constellation. It's located in the Era Green in that constellation, and it gives off the energy of success and riches as well as the love of art. Now we're in the realms of really creating things with Venus and Mars. Venus being materialization, Mars being circulation and motivation. So those combined together is like, the secret to manifestation, pretty much in a nutshell. So, allow that to align with your internal third eye. The moon will be on descending node, so now we're going to start to experience the moon coming closer and closer. Maybe we'll get another perihelion during the next full moon that we receive. The best visibility of the earth shine on the moon will be on the 17th as well, and then Venus will be square Jupiter still, but now they'll both be at 15 degrees, whereas the day before Venus was at 14 and Jupiter was at 15, but now we're going to be at 15. The square is going to be like, let's look at the numbers. Numbers is that energy of solitude. Have you been pulling out the Hermit card with the heart in your heart chakra and in your sacral chakra, or have you been pulling that 5, preferably the 5 of wands? Have you been out here and engaging in adventures and tapping into your community and aligning with your inner child? One or two things. Bring it together for the 6. 6 is the number of creation. We're creating things, and where that creation is actually applying to the humanity collective. So depending on whichever route you went to, just understand that it's not just you being affected. So you pulled the Hermit card, you decided to go in where you decided to self-sabotage and close up your business and stop doing this or stop doing that or stop walking in your purpose. And guess what? It was certain people that needed to experience you that didn't get a chance to experience you. So now they're dealing with different, squares in their Venus and Jupiter. You're dealing with a square in your Venus and Jupiter because you're no longer walking in your purpose. You're no longer walking in your Venus with your Jupiter, right? Now you're just doing Jupiter. Now you're just in the space of business. I just need the pentacles. Or you're just in the space of the pentacles for the Venus without the Jupiter, without the joy. You know what I'm saying? So that's where those squares could be at as well. It's not always just about, romantic pursuits. But it also could be about the energy exchanges that you're supposed to create for other people and that you're supposed to have for yourself, that you're now blocking yourself from. Because, Leo energy, our sun is still in the Leo constellation. The sun doesn't enter Virgo constellation until September 18th. So while it's still in Leo, you could still be in the energy of the dramatic trust. I am a Leo rising and my Jupiter is in Leo. I had to ask myself a couple times, like, okay, Nika, are you being dramatic? Because you can go too far. So let's dial it down a bit. Let's chill out. Especially during the week of the Cosmo Nobody's convention, I was ready to throw everything away. But I had to tap in and ask myself, like, is this my inner dramatic speaking? Is this because I'm feeling overwhelmed by the dramatic energy around me? That's just reflecting the dramatics that's going on within me. Like, you gotta be available to yourself to have these kind of conversations so you can talk yourself off of cliffs. You can't expect everybody around you to do that for you all the time. But that doesn't have to necessarily come from solitude. Honestly, I learned how to do that by being a part of a safe space group and being in solitude when I needed to at the same time. Having that sense of balance of being around other people and then reflecting by myself is essential. So certain other things that are going to be happening. Just to remind you, the autumn equinox is on September 23rd. That's going to be happening at 2:51 a.m. So yay! It's autumn time. I can't wait to pull out my hoodies. I'm so excited. I gave one of my hoodies away, and I'm just trying to figure out a nice way to say, like, can I get my hoodie back? Because that was like the warmest hoodie I had. And if I keep it 100 with you, I threw your hoodie away that you gave me. Because when I think I'm about to break up with somebody, when I split up with people, I throw all they shit out. Anyway, also, we are still in eclipse season here and there. So you do notice that the sun and the moon, we were in opposition today. However, you'll start to notice as we get back into the new moon realm, you'll start to notice that the sun and the moon are getting back closer together, both being in that Virgo energy, right? At the same time, right? You noticed, right? Right? Yeah, we noticed. The moon and the sun are getting close together. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. You noticed because the annular solar eclipse, which is just a partial solar eclipse, so it's not totally like 100% like smack dab on top of each other, and that's because nothing is a perfect circle, so nothing will ever be perfectly smack dab on top of each other. But the annular solar eclipse is going to happen on October 14th. And then we have the partial lunar eclipse happening on October 28th. And I personally will be in the crib. I told y'all last year I got hit by a car on Halloween. And every year on the 28th, people in my family die. My godbrother died October 28th. My uncle died on October 28th. My older brother died on October 28th. I had an uncle that died on October 28th. I had another uncle that died on, like great uncle, like different generations of uncles on different sides of families. October 28th is just not a good day for me. I just got to be in the crib. And then it's a lunar eclipse. And then I'm still dealing with the PTSD of getting hit by a car. And I feel like I be going through my mind because when that happened, I was on 8th and Market, which is also Scorpio energy. And so I'm just like in my mind about that because the portal was open and because that is like a weekend that people in my family die. And then I won't say I almost died, but yeah, it could have been a death situation. We don't know. And so because that just put a little fear in my heart. Like, am I supposed to be next? Like, what's up? Like, what y'all trying to do over there? Like, what y'all chatting about over there? Like, y'all trying to invite me to a party. I ain't even tell me who was all gonna be there or nothing. I ain't get no y'all ain't asked me if I even want to come and stuff. But anyway, the sun enters the Libra zodiac energy on September 24th also. So for those of you guys who are preparing yourself for the Libra zodiac, that's happening on the 24th. However, the Virgo constellation will be on September 18th. And just to remind y'all that Jupiter goes in retrograde September 4th. Venus goes prograde September 3rd. In light of that transition between Venus and Jupiter, I would like to start reading Queen Afua, Sacred Women. If you would like to join me, I opened up a Telegram group where we could read it and align with each other together and do the exercises together. Just let me know if you're interested. If you guys could let me know before like September like 2nd or 3rd, that'll be cool. I want to say the 4th is like Monday. I haven't fully like aligned the days of the week with the numbers yet in my brain. In addition to that, we have, also reach out to me if y'all need any chart readings. Y'all know I do numerology and astrology chart readings. And what I do is, if you want the full chart reading, your chart will look just like this. So that when I am doing a planetary forecast, you can just pull out your personal chart and align your placements with the collective placements. So I do the chart readings like that. Or you can do, if you want a quick chart, reading, I still align them with the chakras. Either way, it's just a matter of how you want to present it to you, those are the different tiers I provide. I also do group workshops if you want me to come to an event and do a group quick presentation to show you guys. If you want any radio play, advertisement, graphic designing, hit up Naga radio station. Naga Netter is on Facebook. I want to say he's on YouTube too, but I always catch him on Facebook. And good dude, so reach out to him if you need that kind of services. Also, Cosmic Nobody's University is opening up enrollment. We won't begin courses until November 11th. However, enrollment is opening up on September 4th as well, and I'm excited about that. So be on the lookout for the Google form to fill out, and then you're basically going to have a quick meeting with me in like October to go over the beginning of it. You make your deposit and you'll receive a package and we'll go from there. And that's what I got for y'all. Thank you for being tapped into the planetary forecast from the full moon to the new moon. It's been a while since I've been chatting with y'all. It took me a little while to get myself warmed up, but I'm glad to be here. I appreciate y'all for aligning with me, especially at these hours. So again, if you want any type of guidance or personal readings, please reach out. And yeah, peace, y'all.
This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. Papa Legba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out, Papa Legba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out, Papa Legba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out. 'Cause this is our land. Yes, we was here first. They came here on a boat. They'll leave here in a hearse. They'll leave here through the dirt. They're going through the earth. We're channeling their ancestors to undo their hurt. 'Cause once upon a time, we all could read and write. That legalese is lies. Strong men spelled cursive ties. Strong men all caps disguise. They've gentrified our lives. We've redefined their sights. We've redefined their kind. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Yes, this shit is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? Play their game, but by our rules. I'm Queen Annie the Maroon. I am Queen of Dongo. I am Queen of Zinga. I am Yenaga. I'm Carlotta and Fermina. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause I am a goddess. I am a priestess. I chant these mantras and they all repeat it. If we make a promise, this land we gon' seize it. Get vengeance for Mother Earth treason. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. Repetition of empires. Invading land with gunfire. Slavery not hostess for hire. Income not what you desire. Outcome working jobs by hours. Mindset waiting to retire. Never stop working for dollars. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor you gon' choose? When you chant, they gonna lose. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor we gon' choose? When we chant, they gonna lose. My spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors defend. I got that juice to transcend. My spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors, I got that juice to transcend. 'Cause I am a Santi, I am a Sata, I am a host, I am a homie, I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. 'Cause I am a Santi, I am a Sata, I am a host, I am a homie, I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is hoodoo music. When we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose? Hey, choose. Cause when we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose?
With the wrong witch, and she knows it. And now you know it.